All right, everyone. So the first thing I want to do is let you all know we're going to be talking about reptilians tonight. And that was a special preview of something that's going to be coming out real soon. There's some new swag, and it's just going to be limited because we're doing something special. But anyway, I want to welcome everybody to be doing. We're going to talk about those reptilians. I've been doing a lot of studying lately, course, in the past, in the present now, about what is really happening, what could be possibly, behind the things that they talk about, which could be a ruling civilization. David Icke talks about it all the time. A lot of people do. Now, he has a different perspective that we'll get into. We're going to break this down into 4 segments. We're going to break it into segment 1, which is unearthing the genesis of the reptilian conspiracy. And that's going to be really deep. We're going to go into a lot of deep stuff when I tell you tonight. And so it's going to be really good. It's going to be good. The segment 2 is going to be sifting through the shadows, which is the evidence for or against reptilian existence. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. And I think it's something that, as high strangeness and saying that you probably won't believe it, and you may not believe it, because the whole point is it's been something that we've been saying behind the scenes, that there is a ruling race. And then segment 3 is going to be unmasking the agenda, the reptilian quest for power. We're going to get into that. I think it's really important to understand that if there is a plan, they do have a plan. We talk about New World Order, and we talk about a lot of stuff, but I think it goes a little deeper. In segment 4, as we close, would be the reptilian reflection, decoding their present and popular culture, and in other words, shape-shifting and how they are possibly walking among us. And so this is going to be a long show. We're going to be here tonight, and hopefully you guys get involved into the conversations of what we're having tonight. First of all, I just got a couple of announcements that I'm going to make just real quick. A lot of you got your book of sacred secrets. In 24 to 48 hours, it's going to come down for good. Basically, like I told y'all before, we was doing some couple of things. And if you hadn't got it, I'm sorry that you hadn't got it. And hopefully that you did. I'm going to be pulling it down along with the codes and everything else within the next 24 to 48 hours. And so I did say it was limited. A lot of you got it. A lot of people are really a lot smarter today. A lot of people are a lot woker. I've been getting a lot of feedback of people saying how amazing it is. I've done several shows on it, and it's time for us to kind of cartel that down a little bit. I've got a lot of feedback from the public of insiders. You're giving out training secrets, you're giving out trade secrets, and it's okay. They don't care about, they're going to give it to the public. It's a lot of people go into some of that content pretty deeply, and you've probably seen it out there before. But hey, I was in a situation where I wanted to work on a project, and so therefore I did that. We're going to be talking about this couple of books here. This is a Children of the Matrix by David Icke. It's about the reptilian stuff. And I got a new one called The Alien World Order, the reptilian plan to divide and conquer the human race. These people, there's a lot of plans out there, and there's a lot of stuff that's out there that I think that we as truth seekers need to pay attention to when it comes down to shape shifting. Now, again, limited edition. I'm just letting y'all know tonight I'm going to be posting this up for 24 to 48 hours. I got 2 shirts. They are designed. Now, these are acid wash, oversized shirts. They go up to about 3X. They're a lot expensive from another provider. I had a custom designer to make these shirts. Charge me out the wazoo, but I think they're perfect. It's shape shifting, as you can see the reptilian in the face. And yeah, if you can recognize who that is, then it'll be good. And that'll be the male side of things. And for you females, or vice versa, these are 2 different colors. You can get you one either or, and they'll be on the website for about a day or so. They're going to be about $45 because they're custom. The shirts are oversized. They're acid wash, vintage acid wash, and all that. But it's going to go with the theme. It's a whole new brand of clothing line that we have coming out. I just want to debut that. And probably, if I do it tonight, then I may do a cash app side and get you some free shipping. And probably not. Probably put it on the website, but it's not going to stay up there long. I'm just trying to get about 10 people, maybe a few of you will take your pictures in it, and then we will go on from there. So I'll bring it up again later, but there's cool. So if you like them, let me know. Put it in the chat, and pretty much from there. And so I am pretty cool. So let's get down into this. Oh, hopefully you all are getting ready for the Conscious Awards. You're going to be there. We got 2 weeks. I'm excited, and pretty much for the update, my knee is doing perfectly good today. I got some news from the doctor that I'll be needing knee replacement, but they pulled all this fluid out of my knee yesterday, and changed everything. The pain and all of that stuff. Was just and as soon as they finished and I was able to just get up and walk, and I limped in there, knee braces and all. But it'll be on down the road, could be a few years, depending on the treatment that I do and all that, but it's still preventable, and maybe a little rough, but we're going to do that. So as we get into segment 1, unearthing the genesis of the reptilian conspiracy. Now, my first question to begin is, have you ever felt like something wasn't quite right in the world? I know a lot of you have, and your spider senses is not incorrect. And for example, it's like there's some hidden manipulation of events from the shadows. Or what if I told you there's a lot of people that believe those shadows are inhabited by an ancient race of shape-shifting reptilian beings? And tonight we're going to delve into it, and we're going to go into this chilling conspiracy theory. We're going to trace some of the roots through history and mythology. And what you're about to hear tonight is going to be really detailed, really long. You may not believe it. So let's sit down. It's Freaky Friday. Let's go into this stuff. But like I said, make sure you get your Conscious Award ticket. If you get a ticket, you can actually, I think they're like $10, and some people are winning free tickets, and you can get to the award shows for both days. All you need to do is get your way to Miami, and you down in there. So we're going to start with the ancient myth and legends, what we call the seeds of conspiracy, because it all starts with ancient times. And I'll be first to tell you, as I started to look into the reptilian conspiracy, as I've been studying symbols and everything else, and get into David Icke, who says that the Illuminati is actually the reptilians. He goes into his book. I actually got the DVD that I bought off eBay of him in a Corrado Mutua or whatever. And this dude goes deep into a lot of the folklore. It's hours and long, and I've been watching it, and it's just so freaking interesting. But we're going to start with the myth, the serpent in the garden, because this is more of the biblical serpent metaphor for the reptilian decipher, because a lot of people begin with religious aspect of this. And basically what it is you're talking about the biblical story of Adam and Eve. It goes back to, they paint the serpent as the cunning deceiver. If you remember, he made supposedly the serpent con Eve into biting everything, and which is the woman, right? And then all of a sudden, we have what we have today because of that serpent, but tempting humanity with a forbidden knowledge and leading into the expulsion from paradise. So by us biting into that apple, we got kicked out of paradise. And what would the world would have been like? What would the true story of the world would have been like? Would have been we didn't need no money? Would food be free? Would a lot of stuff be free? I know my stuff wouldn't be free, but would it be free? Who knows? But they're just saying that this is something that's supposedly happening when we look at the ancient myth of reptilians. Now, another part is this: could this serpent be a symbolic representation of the reptilian entity? We're talking about the Bible. So think about it right now. I'm raised with Christianity. So we all were raised with Adam and Eve. Of course, we all came from Adam and Eve. We know that's a freaking myth. I hope nobody's believing that today. Now, there may have been several Adam and Eves. There are several sections of people that built this culture at some point, but we all didn't come from two people. And now all of a sudden it's 5 billion people, and we were still walking around with our hands and legs and feet all intact, right? That's just not going down. So, but other than that, I'm saying when you think about the reptilian entities manipulating human events from the very beginning. So was that story a made up story? Was it made up and that was just their way? But, we always hear the devil's greatest weaponry was to hide in plain sight or to fool everybody that he didn't exist. And we'll get into that a little later. But in the concept of the original sin rooted in the reptilian plot to corrupt humanity and steer us away from our true potential. Now, I say this to say, now that I study symbols and I study a lot of the secret societies, it makes no doubt that these things, the occult is kind of like hidden information. And they use this information to rule. Okay. And when you think about hidden information to rule humanity, then it goes all the way back. Because when I start studying symbols, all of them led back to the aliens. It all led back to some ancient civilization, some ancient teaching that was put together how to control or manipulate or guide the human race. So it was all there. And so share with me in the chat, what do you think about the reptilians when we get down to this? We can go into Mesopotamia, the deities. There was always the story Billy talked about, other people, where the Anunnaki, Sumerian gods, often depicted as serpents or reptilians, actual extraterrestrial beings. So we go back into that even in Egyptian cultures and all, there was symbolic stuff carved out everywhere of reptilian, all the way back to Africa, all the way back to the motherland and the plains of Africa was reptilian symbolic symbols that etched through history and stories. So that also make you wonder, is there any other species out there? Of course, we know they are, but how is this particular species? Now we think today that they're hidden beneath the earth. They're walking among us as well, is the reason why you see the new shirt design that I have. Hey, they're walking among us, right? But they're shape-shifting. We all know that. We know that within this community. But let me give a little details about the Mesopotamian deities, okay? The Sumerians was one of the earliest civilizations, and they was revered by the pantheon gods known as the Anunnaki. So could, like David Icke says, the Anunnaki Illuminati is the reptilians. He's saying that's their identity. Now, these deities were often depicted as serpents or reptilian features. Some theorists propose that the Anunnaki was not gods at all, but rather an extraterrestrial beings with reptilian traits who descended to Earth and interact with early humans. And could these ancient depictions be evidence of the forgotten history of reptilian intervention into human affairs? I'm just asking about that. You know, I'm saying, is it possible that the stories and myths that we hear goes back to it? We can get into the ancient Egyptians' god. The question there was, did the serpent symbolize associated with deities like Sobek and Wadjet hint at reptilian connections? If you go into Egyptian gods and ancient rich mythologies filled with serpentine imagery, like I said, go look it up. You can, you go back and look up a lot of Egyptian gods. Now, deities like Sobek, I think, the crocodile god, Wadjet, the cobra goddess, remember, if I'm saying that, Wadjet, was revered and feared. It is also possible that the serpent symbols were more than mere religious metaphors, right? And could they represent the reverence of a reptilian ancestors or overlords? And could the pharaohs, if you think about it, often associated with serpent imagery and have been descendants of these reptilian entities? So again, this is real deal. When you think about it, that everything that we have out there, all roads lead back to reptilians. Yeah, I got people. Oh, yeah, we have the Palladians. Oh, yeah, we have the guardians of the universe. Oh, we have the felines. Oh, we have, and the list goes, the grays. And now we have the mantis. And I'm still not with that one, but okay, that's fine. We got reptilians. How come we can't have mantis, right? Beings as well. You go into back toward the Game of Thrones. I watched the Game of Thrones, and we'll get into that. They had depictions of dragons and reptilians and reptiles and symbols throughout that entire show, which is one of the best things I can say when it comes down to that. But the dragon lore, the pervasive legends of dragons across culture point to a shared memory of reptilian entities? That's a question for you to ponder on. Do the pervasive legends of dragons across all the cultures, Japan, all of these places, both or a point of memory share reptilian memories of reptilian entities. And now I go in more detail because you're talking about from the fire-breathing dragons of European folklore to the serpentine water dragons of Asian mythology. The legend of the dragons are common thread when it's woven throughout human history. And the mythical creatures often poses immense power and intelligence. So they never ever set it out there that these reptilians were some dumb stuff. They all at some point or sometime portrayed as benevolent guardians or malevolent forces. So either way, they was either bad or good. And do these stories stem from a collective memory of reptile beings that once roamed the earth? And could the universal fear and fascination with dragons be a subconscious recognition of hidden reptilian presence in this world? So we think about the folklore because and the reason why I'm using folklore, when I was listening to the David Icke in whatever his name again, out over there in Africa, Mutwa or whatever, he went into that there was a reptilian that would because they drink blood. Okay, the reptilians feed off our blood. They're still saying that they're doing this now with humans today. And this is where the myth of Dracula came into the play. The myth of Dracula came in because of the story is because of reptilians were drinking blood. And so all of a sudden we come up with this vampire type story and folklore over the years. And that was something from there. We could go into David Icke's explosive revelations. He talked about the Babylonian Brotherhood. If you ever went into some of his conspiracies, there's a lot of it in this particular book. I suggest you go to eBay. You might can get your copy of $5 or $10, $20 is, there are some on there a lot more expensive. And then, I think he sells them back some on his website too, Amazon and everything else. And it is worth it, by the way, to do that. But he talked about the Babylonian Brotherhood, who are alleged elite bloodlines, Icke claims, are descendant from reptilians. He goes into, we'll get into that. So let me give you a little background about the Babylonian Brotherhood. Icke claims that they're a secret society and that the Babylonian Brotherhood is at the heart of global control. And according to David Icke, this group consists of elite bloodlines descended from reptilians, okay, and including prominent figures in politics. And that's why we're here tonight, right? Royalty, business. He suggested these individuals are shapeshifters and they're reptilian disguised as humans, manipulating world events to maintain their power and control. But who are these bloodlines? Because he goes into a familiar family like the Rothschilds. There was some other name, if I could think of it, how that name changed to the Rothschilds, but the Rockefellers and British royals and families as potential members of the shadow organization. And these are accusations grounded in reality, or are they the product of paranoid information, or imagination when it comes down to it? Because this gets deep. So once again, as you know, we're going to have a special shirts I'm putting out right now. Look at the shirts. Look at them closely there. Reptilian, are they among us? And you can see it's shape-shifting. Nobody's guessed who that was, who this guy is, and none of you guessed who the woman is. But you just might guess it. But it's a high strangeness, original, custom drawing. You won't find it anywhere. It was scratched out from black and white to what do we got? I'm going to be posting it on the website after the show. You can grab yours, and it's only going to stay up a few days, and then we would do that. So I just wanted to kind of let it go into what we're talking about right now. All right, so shape-shifting abilities. Okay, let's get into that. That's why I just showed you what I was doing. How does Icke, because I like I said, I've been listening to his stuff. How does he explain the reptilians' alleged ability to disguise themselves as humans? I'm going to give you that detail. So, which means that, hey, they're walking among, yes, somebody said Oprah. Yes, the other one is Oprah. The first one, somebody said Obama. Nope, it's not Obama. But the second one was Oprah. So you got that right. Good for you. Someone said Eddie Murphy. No, come on. I'll show y'all one more time. You should know who it is. Come on. There you go. Look closer. You know who it is. Come on, y'all. Y'all can see that. All right. And Obama would have had gray hair if it was him. Just hint, hint. Okay. He would have had gray hair and hint, hint. And that's what it would have been. So me and the moon says she shapeshift all the time. I believe it. I talk to Selena a lot. And sometimes she's over there. She can turn into this and that. And if somebody claims to shapeshift, you have to believe them, y'all. You have to believe people that shapeshift because they're being honest. But let me tell you a little bit about shapeshifting abilities, though. So I'm glad you asked. It's not Morgan Freeman, Rockstar. That don't even look like Morgan Freeman. Come on. If it was Morgan Freeman, he'd have gray hair like me, and yeah, he'd be older. All right. So one of the most outlandish claims of reptilian conspiracy theory is alleged ability of these beings to shapeshift, disguise themselves as humans. Now, Ike, like I said in his book, right there, okay, he suggests that they achieve this through a combination of advanced technology and interdimensional manipulation. He claims that the reptilians can lower their frequency to match that of humans and allow them to blend in seamlessly. And could this explain the strange anomalies and glitches often reported in videos and photographs of public figures, or is it merely wishful thinking part of the conspiracy theorists? So I'm saying that, is it possible? Okay. Is it possible? So he talks about lowering frequency. Now, I've heard many stories as a UFO investigator of people that have, the reptilians walk through the wall. It is a vibrational thing, and that they can hide in plain sight. We can't see them. And I've had stories of people that have went astral and peeked into this realm, and the reptilians was there on the other side looking at them as almost to say, what are you doing here? Why are you here? You need to get out of this realm. So some humans have the ability to dive or delve into those other realms. And so that's something that we could literally think about when it comes down to this. But other than that, he also claims that, once again, could this explain the strange anomalies and glitches often reported in videos, photographs of public figures? There's been a lot of stuff surfacing that somebody took a picture and then it was like out of whatever. Yeah. And so, yeah, it is Diddy. So it's Diddy. It's P. Diddy is who it is. So let me go back to say it's P. Diddy right there. And this is Oprah. And so if you want one of these, let me know. They go up to a 3X, and these are, like I said, custom Asher Watch. Those are the two colors for now. And they're just going to be up because we are still working on our plan and everything else. And speaking of that, we're going to be, we're probably, a few grand away from doing our first documentary or securing the videographer team and everything else. And so I'm still looking for contributions. Y'all can put my cash out there. Anyone who contributes to this, and just make sure you let me know this. Well, I'm looking for some big contributions too, maybe $100, $50. But, I'll give you a shout out in the credits of that documentary of, helping. Now, if you want to be somebody who's putting in on it and get some ownership or royalties or something, we're about at the tail end of that a little bit. So if you have it in your heart, it's several months away, but I have to secure the stuff now. So I'm looking for our help to do that. So this is why I was doing the Book of Secrets, other little stuff, raising funds. But I still have to not water it down. But let's keep going. Let's talk about the fourth dimension. What roles? Yeah, there it is right there, the Cash App. I'll put it on the screen right there. And so, again, if you got my email address, and again, if you put in a chat, you're going to chat. I still be calling people out, man, because sometimes people put things in there and they don't call, they don't email. I mean, it's like this clout stuff that they do here. And so I've lost a lot of confidence in some of these aliases that we have on here. I won't call them out. But the other stuff is the fourth dimension. What roles does Ike theory and interdimensional travel play into the reptilian conspiracy? Let's get into the fourth dimension. Let's get into Ike's theory beyond the physical realm, delving into the concept of interdimensional travel. He believes that the reptilians originate from the fourth dimension, a realm beyond our normal perception. Okay. And according to Ike, they use the ability to travel between the dimensions, influencing events on Earth while remaining hidden from view. But what is the fourth dimension? And how does it relate to reptilian conspiracy? Could this explain why evidence of their existence is so elusive? Because we can't get there. Now, they're starting to come out with that right now. Okay, so the email is up. Thank you, Philly Cat. She put the email address in the chat for those of you. But like I said, the Cash App is there. I'll put it up here on top of the screen. And maybe if you want to support, like I said, I know you're not all the big spenders, but 10 people giving $100, 50, 20 people, we'll get halfway to our goal of securing the videographer and all of that. So let's do that. The email address again is, let me put it on the screen, is contact@whythebigsecret.com. That's the contact. And so again, if you want to get in on the other side and get some credit and royalties, we're providing at least, I think, 50% of the document. And remember, this is a long-term play, okay, because we have to make it. You put it up on a streaming platform, but it's a forever royalty, though, if you get in on that side of the fence, because it's the great content and everything. The email doesn't work when I send you emails. Contact@whythebigsecret.com. Somebody send me a test email right now, and so I can verify the email is working. Let's make sure we can do that right as we speak. So it may need to do something different today. I don't know. But anyway, somebody send an email so I can make sure that we can do that. So one of the moderators or somebody, y'all know my email, contact@whythebigsecret. So there's a lot of criticism and controversy when it comes down to this. And I'm dealing with more of David Icke, because I think he's one of the prominent person that when it comes down to this, and it's pretty much from there. But how does his claims been met with skepticism and ridicule? Now, he talks about that there's places that he can't even go. There's other places that he can't do and everything else. Thank you for the order of the books and stuff. Taylor, if you're here in the, okay, Philly Cat, I got your test. Thank you. Someone just ordered the Tyler. If you in here tonight, just put in the chat. We'll give you a shout out or whatever. So the point I'm trying to make is that, he says that he can't even do a lot of things because of the fact of he done told too much. Like, I think there's certain parts of the country where he is he can't even go because he done exposed the truth. And so I'm into it. Now, the second book that I just got from eBay is called The Alien World Order, The Reptilian Plan. And so this is from Lynn Caston. Go into some deep stuff, man. They go into some deep stuff. I still like the conspiracy part of David Icke, so I'm learning a lot of his stuff, Jordan Maxwell, and a lot of those things, and so I'm doing that. The store there is merch, where if you can get some merchandise. The shirts won't be up until after the show. I'll put them up there so you can order them. It's going to take, maybe a week or two, because I have to order those special shirts, and then once I get them in, I'll print from there. It's not the ones that I can keep in stock down the street from everything else. But Icke's theories have been met with widespread skepticism and ridicule from the mainstream media and scientific community. He has been accused of promoting atheism, spreading misinformation, and preying on vulnerable individuals. Now, I don't know how they would consider the critics saying that, argue that his claims are outlandish and not to be taken seriously, because he goes deep into this stuff, but yet there's stories and countless of stories. If y'all know Michael J. Carter, friend of mine, dear friend of mine, he's the pastor, and that's one of his stories. He had an encounter with a reptilian. And do I believe him? Absolutely. There's a lot of people. You have Anthony from Canadian Awareness. He's the authentic reptilian Chandler. So if you ever reach out there, you can kind of do that. While others suggest that David Icke may be suffering from mental illness, in which, hell no. That dude is so freaking intelligent. Off the charts, people. He is off the charts when it comes down to this and everything else. And so all I can tell you that. So I wouldn't even believe that if they even tried to say it. So, but anyway, despite the criticism, his theories have resonated with large audiences. The dude has an audience. sparking global movement of believers and conspiracy theory. I'm one of them. And in these theories, sometimes they're dangerous and people think they're a form of some type of delusion, or could there be a grain of truth hidden in them? Yeah, I think there could be. And I know that there is. So when it comes down to the only thing I used to be baffled about, when I saw pictures of the mantises and then you got the everything else, then you like, how does an insect be able to control some devices? I can't see myself, but if you ever see a mantis, praying mantis in the real world, so thank you, Selena, for sending a test as well. So when you see a praying mantis in the real world, those things are lethal. They will attack animals and bugs and living mammals type creatures and devour them things. So there are some invasive and mean tactical warriors. And so I could imagine somebody being approached by one that's 6 and 8 feet tall. But the problem of them driving spaceships is with those claws get me. And so I don't know about all that when it comes down to that. So that's something to think about. Rockstar asks if I had an encounter. I saw a UFO in Dallas when I was 12 years old. That's about the best it's gotten for me. I tell that story consistently all the time, but it's a very interesting story, but I can tell it another day, and some of you have already heard it. Let's go into Zachariah Sitchin. A lot of you heard of Zachariah Sitchin, right? And basically, Zachariah Sitchin, Sitchin's interpretation of Sumerian text tied into reptilians. So if you ever got his books, Zachariah Sitchin, and just keep coming. We got a long show about this tonight. I'm going to give you more reptilian stuff tonight than you have ever got on anybody else's show. Some people can go a little deeper. We're going to cover all the bases tonight. It's Freaky Friday. It's couple of hours of information. I mean, we're going to go deep. Zachariah Sitchin, and how does this interpretation of Sumerian text? Well, he talks about the 12th planet, and a lot of people call that Nibiru. So we'll get into that right here now. But Zachariah Sitchin, which is a controversial author and researcher, he gained notoriety in his interpretation of ancient Sumerian texts. In his book, The 12th Planet, Sitchin proposed that the Sumerians documented the existence of a hidden planet in our solar system called Nibiru, and with an elongated orbit that brings it close to Earth every 3,600 years. And according to Sitchin, Nibiru is inhabited by a race of advanced beings known as the Anunnaki, who he claimed were responsible for creating humanity through genetic engineering. Now, but Sitchin's interpretation be hidden on something a little more sinister. If you kind of hear stuff, in fact, that planet is supposed to be on its way back. It's a global killer. Okay. And so his thing's a little more sinister. Sometimes theorists believe that Sitchin's work is inadvertently reveal the existence of reptilians, and suggesting that Nibiru is their own home world and that the Anunnaki are in fact reptilian beings who have manipulated early humans for their own purposes. All right, so me and the moon, like she said, she shapeshift, so when you get into that and somebody's like damn near an alien or a lizard or reptilian, that is something else. But we've all heard the 12th planet. How many of you out there have talked about planet Nibiru? How many of you have heard about it? I did a few shows on it. A lot of people talk about it. It's supposed to be, some people call it the black planet, like it's black people because the Anunnaki is supposed to be black, but it ties back into reptilian. And so, and I can get into it right now, the Anunnaki as reptilian. So I'm glad you asked. Rockstar said, I can shapeshift. All right. Damon said he can shapeshift. All right. All y'all shapeshifters. Now, the Sitchin's work inadvertently fueled the belief that Anunnaki were a reptilian in nature. So when you get into the details of that, Anunnaki as reptilians, Sitchin's depiction of the Anunnaki was not explicitly saying that the reptilians or reptilian. He was saying that does they contain an intricate details have fueled the speculation of genetic tampering, right? He says the Sumerian text often describe the Anunnaki as serpent gods and deities with serpentine features. And then additionally to that, his interpretation of the Sumerian creatures myth in which the Anunnaki manipulate, like I said, our human DNA and create a surveillance race of workers aligned with the reptilian conspiracy theory. So we talk about the Anunnaki were here, like created us to mine gold, and now you're talking about the Zachariah Sitchin talking about the reptilians. David Icke says that, quoto mutua said it, you know, and he had all the evidence. If you haven't seen that DVD, I have it. And if you hadn't seen it, you can get your copy. It's called Something Vaults on eBay. They'll send like some burnt copies to you, and it's like $12. You can buy one and get one free, but it's interesting. It goes on for hours, you know, like hours and hours of them interviewing. He asked everything. So anyway, they're talking about is the narrative of manipulation and control. And then could Sitchin's work be unintentional, providing evidence for reptilian theory? So it's like he put stuff out there and he don't really say. David Icke says, yes, there are. He kind of put it to get you to think about it. Maybe they are. You take it on to the next level of interpretations and you go find out for yourself if this could be truth or any truth in it. And so Zachariah will take you on this journey of speculation, but still he points out enough that you can believe it. So if we think about Nibiru, I'll go into Nibiru a little bit here. And does the fear of the rogue planet inhabited by reptilian add another layer to conspiracy? Like I said, it's supposed to be on its way back. This is why we have these climate changes. This is why the elite is trying to get off the planet. Now, I'm not saying in the next 20 years. We're talking thousands, 100 years or hundreds, but it's supposed to be on its way back. And meaning it's been here before. It caused cataclysmic events here, you know, almost a catastrophe to an extinction level. So one of those things. But Sitchin's theory points that Nibiru periodically returns to Earth, brings about those cataclysmic events such as floods, earthquakes, and pole shifts. And we're already starting to experience a lot of that now. And even though conspiracy theory said it's getting closer and it should be vigorously worse in years to come, that this is a scenario that we would have to look at, and that's it. But she talked about it started buffering. Yeah. Okay. So that is one of the deals there. So outside of that, though, like I said, we get into they talk about earthquakes, pole shift, and this has led to some believers that the reptilians inhabiting Nibiru are responsible for these disasters, using them as a tool to control and manipulate humanity. And the fear of impeding Nibiru is the fact that they're on their way back, combined with the belief of malevolent reptilian race controlling our destiny, adds to another layer of complexity and paranormal in the conspiracy theory. And so the question will be, could the reptilians be using Nibiru as a weapon to maintain their grip and power? Or is the Nibiru cataclysm simply a myth born out of misunderstanding? That is something that you can make a determination if you get to that point, right? You can start thinking about that one way or the other. The other part would be by examining Zachariah Sitchin's work through the lens of reptilian conspiracy theory, we can uncover a fascinating and unsettling possibility that it could be true, that our origins and destiny may be intertwined with the hidden race of interdimensional beings, right? So if you start really looking at some of their facts, and then whether Sitchin's interpretations are accurate or not, his work has undoubtedly contributed to the growing interest in reptilian conspiracy and the potential implication of humanity. Like I say, David Icke talks about it in most of all his books, this World Agenda book. It is something, once again, to really think about when you get into it. So now, as high strangeness, Roderick Martin here, we still want to go through the credibility of disinformation. I cannot just leave it out there. But, and you would think that, or some of these deliberate attempts to discredit the reptilian conspiracy theory as a form of disinformation. No, the big secret keepers, could their whole point of going against the grain is because they don't want us to know the truth. And so it's going to be hidden out, or not hidden, but they're going to make it seem stupid. They're going to say the conspiracy is dumb. And they use a lot of tactics. So is it possible that there are deliberate attempts to discredit reptilian conspiracy? We've seen it all, how quickly mainstream media, skeptics, and how they dismiss the ridicule, the ideal, they just dismiss it like it ain't nothing. And you're talking the Vatican and all these places, that we still hear the Rohr family and all of these people are supposedly to be part of that. So is it simply a healthy skepticism at work where, we're just being manipulated and playing along like flutes and stuff when it comes down to this? Or could it be calculated strategy to keep the masses ignorant of the hidden truth? And this is why, I say it all the time, but, I tried to put it out there, and there's that book, The Hidden Truth. That one is coming down too. Like somebody just got all three, and I'm glad they did. It is helping out the cause, but all the vibrational codes, the hidden truths, all that stuff is coming down, because I don't think everybody needs to know. I don't think everybody can handle the stuff that's in there. I got an email from a spectator, and she may be watching, but she told a story about the fact that some of us, Black people that are doing this and calling ourselves Black content creators is already putting a dark eye on the third eye, because Black is a cover or whatever it was, and I'm not going to go into the whole detail, but, we're selling these items, and, and people can't call and get a payment plan, and maybe that's the whole agenda, or maybe it's not. But, there was some things that, I think people should be able to express themselves and everything else. But I also know that I think some people don't realize that what goes into this. This is 35 pages of notes. It took me 3.5 hours to make this for the show tonight, and then hours of research prior to that, of days and reading, to even put the ideal and concept together to go through this in segment basis. And so we doing this, and it's not somebody paying me for the job, right? If it wasn't for you all, the audience and contributions, I've been gone a long time ago, and so I'm very blessed with the people that have supported, whether, somebody did it this month, last month, and I know everybody can't do it all the time, but through a collective of consciousness of people supporting, we're pretty good. And then, like I said, we're probably at our greatest time of being self-sufficient in the next 90 days or less, or really less. Conscious Awards, my big book is going to be ready. Billy Carson has done the forward on it. I got some great reviews from it. I'm going to do a book signing there. And this is a book of 2 years of research, 50 different books, notes. 2 years, and it's a real deal. But it's called The Unspeakable Truth. And it's how the UFO, fake history, Christianity have all robbed the African-American culture from the UFO revelation. And it's a lot of truth in that. But I cover all the ancient stuff. I unleash a lot of stuff, man, that goes down to it. So some of the other tactics is, question is there simple, healthy skepticism at work, or could it be strategy? Now, are they powerful figures employing disinformation? Absolutely. The tactics control the narrative and suppress information that could be threaten their power. Why wouldn't they? All of them in power will waste no time of them making sure that they keep their power in force. They're going to make sure they do that. These reptilians is no joke when it comes down to this. And if any of you were in power and you had a family secret that will break your billionaire family back down to trash truck drivers, you're going to protect the secret by all means. And I don't even care who said you wouldn't. I'll be a little levy, to somebody saying, Roderick, I'll give up the $1 billion secret in my family because it ain't about the money. We'll take the whole generations back to poverty. We'll give up all of the luxury lifestyle. Then they're going to knock you off. Your family's going to knock you off, unalive you, because of the fact of what you're talking about. So these people will protect these secrets at all costs, especially if it's control and power. You make no believe, that's definitely the deal. But the other part of this, could the very act of mocking and dismissing the reptilian theory be a way to reinforce its status as a fringe belief, ensuring that it remains, from public awareness? It's kind of like consciousness. It's like I said, the devil's greatest secret was to trick people into believing that he don't exist. Why not? So we can talk about the power of suggestion. Could the widespread discussion of reptilians be a form of mass manipulation? Because this stuff goes deep. Could the widespread of discussions of reptilian, even in mocking or dismissing the tone, be form of, again, mass manipulation? Like some theories argue that consistently planting the seed of reptilian idea in public's mind is even a joke. It's a joke. Like, so when you think about David Icke, you think about some of these people, Cueto Mutro, you think about, there's a lot of people that goes into that, right? But once again, is it, the question would be then to, does they argue that is it a consistent of planting that seed? And I use that again. And so is it possible that more we hear about the reptilians, think about this, the more normalized the idea become, making it easier for them to operate in the shadows? See, you would think we think that's counterproductive, but it's the same thing that the government is doing with UFOs today. I believe this, what I'm about to say to you. See, we're hearing this disclosure. They're disseminating the information. They are saying to the public UFOs exist. They're saying we're going to have these offices. They're saying we need to investigate it. Once they start doing that without even showing evidence, they begin to lower the threshold, that the desire, the quest, the taste, the whole point that people want the truth and knowledge, because it's now becoming a natural event, right? And now people just gonna say, oh, that's a UFO, that's nothing, and or they never done nothing, they never attacked us. Oh, that's a government plane or whatever. So the same theory. So could the reptilians say, okay, put it out there, put some of the information out there, and then let people hear about it? But at the same time, are they going to look at this as a myth, and then we can control the narrative? I got to make my hydrogen water. Y'all know I've been doing it. It's been really working too. So I'll make some while we're sitting here. So it's one of those narratives that we still have to look at and ask ourselves, is it, what's happening when it comes down to that? And so these people really, the plot is there, and so you're talking about hidden in plain sight, right? You talk about all those things. And so the question is, are we prepared for that stuff, right? All right, so I am making my hydrogen water. Usually I put it on the vibrational code. I did it all day for love and abundance and all that, and then you drink the water. So it works. All right, so could the very act of discussing the theory be playing into the hands of those who wish to control it? So for them saying, if y'all talking about it, we can keep it in the shadows. But then we talking about fear, because fear is something that sits out there like crazy. We know this, and people have fear of the scenario all the time. And so that's the other part. Fear is a powerful motivator. You know that, right? Pressure, make water run uphill. Any plumber will tell you that. And could the cloud our judgment? Yes, fear or cloud your judgment, and it'll make us more susceptible to the manipulation. So if they put a little fear in it and drive us to seek the comfort of simple explanations. So the question would be, does fear of the unknown make people more likely to believe in the conspiracy theories like the reptilian theory? So less we know, does the thought of being the unknown drive more people to fear what you don't know, right? And I could honestly say that there are some people out there I talk to, I know, that I don't know a lot of information about, and you don't fear them as in they're going to harm you. You just like, what the hell is this? What's going on? And maybe that's a bad analogy, but the fear of unknown, right? So this is why we get to know situations, people, things, and businesses or ideas or investments and things that you get in, because man, and reason why a lot of people don't activate on certain issues because of fear of the unknown. So that lack of information could do that too. But does the fear of the unknown make us more likely to believe the conspiracy theories like reptilian theory? So does the opposite works for that? The fear of the unknown, do that allow us to go into the process of saying, hey, we're going to believe this because it's the fear of unknown? Or, the other part is the ideal of hidden power, like an enemy that's very powerful. Is it a way for us to cope with uncertainties and anxiety? Some people can get, anxiety. Well, this is a hydrogen water maker. All right, thank you, Selena. Yeah, it's a hydrogen water maker. So I'm making hydrogen water. I got it on 10 minutes, and so it's doing a high level of hydrogen. And then when it's done, I would drink it, and then I'm gonna put the rest in a bottle and make it again. It's putting hydrogen cells within your body. So it's really good. You can kind of look it up. And that's all I've been drinking over the last week or so. So that's been pretty helpful there as well. So once again, could we think about it by instilling fear into the population? Are they able to manipulate our thoughts, our actions, and making us more compliant to challenge authority? Because that's what it is. A lot of people won't challenge authority. Now, you got those rebels. You got some things and people and situations that you can't tell them shit, or sugar honey iced tea and that rebellious stuff, get them all knocked off and booted in the head and missing and hugged and holes dug and all kind of stuff. But, we've seen it, that rebellion, how we got 400 years of slavery when the first slave got off and said, I ain't picking nothing. And they put them whips on them. And then the second one said, okay, don't hit me, and sold all of us out. And now we're doing this thing. So a lot of this stuff, retribution from the fear and the fear of all of that keeps people in check, right? Period. I was watching Gladiator, and the girl said, they need to love you, the mom. She said, no, they need to fear me. I was like, no, they need to fear me. They don't need to love me, fear me. Thank you for the support, Maya. And I will definitely put you down on the list of people to thank you for the documentary and everything else. And so, like I said, we are raising money there. If any of you decide that you want to, and I'm looking for some big spenders, $50, $100, whatever. We're about 2,000 away, and then I'll put down payment. I got the approval. I met with Billy this weekend and some stuff that, once I get it done, he's want to be one of the first buyers. And so we have the back end already done. So I'm looking for people that want, but if you're just contributing, I'll put you on the credits of it. It's going to be months away, but I have to secure everything now. If you want to be in on it, royalties and stuff, we're talking a bigger number of stuff. And, we'll get several people on the ownership side, and it's long term, and it's part of that particular project. So I'll just let you know. You're not going to be an executive producer unless you're really coming out with the bank. But you will be credited, on the other side. And we'll discuss that with legalities and all that as I put all that stuff together. Let's talk about the end of this segment. We'll go into some questions to kind of give us a discussion going right now. And one of the questions is, why do many ancient cultures, is what I want to ask you guys, share similar myths and legends about reptilian beings? Why is that? Why do we see that? And is this coincidence, or is there a deeper hidden truth? So I want y'all to think about that question for a second. Go back and look at all of the ancient cultures. They all, now, just like we have, when I start in the hidden truths books that I have, we talk about Christianity. We talk about how there are 20, and I only put them in the book. There's 20 or 30 different ancient cultures, or even today, that has the story of Jesus as their story, the Messiah, and all of the miracles. They just have a different name. They all have the same story. So how is it coincident that a lot of these ancient civilizations will possibly have all the serpent tails and all of this? Now, it could be because, one of the things is Is it simply, a shared fear of the unknown? Or is it primal instinct stemming from our evolutionary past, right? Or could these myths be a fragment of forgotten history, or collective memory of encounters with a powerful reptilian race? Think about all this, what I'm saying. Are these stories mere coincidence, or are they clues that are pointing to the hidden truth about our origins and the forces that shape our world? And I say this because I'm no longer sitting here looking at all these possibilities of all these creatures and places and guardians and the galactic councils, and when there could be a race here that's been here. Now, y'all remember the Dulce base? He talked about running into some aliens down there and underground and all of that. Those stories exist. The other question to ponder on is, why did David Icke's theories resonate with so many people despite the criticism and ridicule? What made me believe this? What made me buy this book? What made me buy this book? Okay, when you think about it, what makes me do this? When we're talking about reptilian stuff, but mainly his stuff. And the stuff is it's incredible storytelling, if that's a word. Incredible writings, incredible, but we're in a place where our eyes are useless when our mind is blind. But my eyes is not. My mind is not blind. So my eyes are very open when it comes down to this. And I try to make sure that I give our community things that you can see, things that you could read, stuff that you can hear, things that you could awaken the possibility to the curiosity that this stuff could be real, and you make your own assessment, but at least walk you to the trough. You still have to drink the water, right? So is there something inherently appealing about the reptilian conspiracy, a way for us to make sense of chaos and corruptions? David Icke has built a huge empire from the reptilian stuff. Jordan Maxwell hints on it a little bit. But like I say, all our ancient civilizations and cultures and artifacts all have remnants of some type of serpent type of entity or animal being that is significant in shaping the culture of all of these places. And so could that be, could Icke's theories that taps into a deeper intuition and a subconscious recognition of hidden reality defies the conventional explanation? I don't know if any of y'all saw the movie Adjustment Bureau. I was telling someone to watch it and to at least just gather the premises of the movie, right? And that there's higher forces and things that are manipulating. Now we talk about in the Matrix itself. We talk about that, there are some hidden forces. And so this is not uncommon that we don't get that. But why wouldn't we do that? Why couldn't we not think that all of this is a simulation of some kind? Period. Okay, so it is something to think about. The other part is, why do reptilian conspiracy theories so often dismissed as outlandish and absurd or whatever? Could it be because we sit here thinking that, oh man, just because there's some animals and reptilians? But in the meantime, let me go here. Let me put this. Let me drink this water. Did y'all hear that? That's that hydrogen in here. So let me kill it and get the other one started. Yep. So that's some healthy water there, or good water. I use spring water, so I don't use tap water. I think it's better to use spring water and then pull that hydrogen, let that hydrogen get in and do its thing. Go look it up because it's got a lot of benefits long term. It's been something that's out there. I bought this on Amazon not long ago, and like I said, you can do a 5-minute or you can do a 10-minute, and like I usually do, and I can actually do it now while we're here. I usually will put this on one of these in the vibrational codes, because remember, the codes go through the water, right, and everything else, and they all use water to shape energy and everything else. So this is the actual code. This one is for money and abundance. I'm going to put it on money and abundance. Let's see if I'm going to get some giving tonight, where some of y'all is going to be touched and moved to continue to contribute, to give through Cash App, which is on the screen there, or go to the website now and buy the books as you have them before I take them down, or something. Or some of you might want this shirt once I put it up. And from there, this is called a Pura Viva, and yeah, so they had a little sale on it one day, but it is very, very interesting. And like I said, it's on a 10-minute cycle right now doing hydrogen, but now it is sitting so that you can see how this works real quick. Let me lift this up and put this camera over here for you real quick. So I have it right now sitting. See that? I have it sitting on the vibrational code. This is the tree of life. The codes are encoded: money, bliss, ascension. This is the money and abundance code. And this is how it works. You can put this under your pillows. You can, and this stuff works, people, because we are theoretically, we're in a vibrational type of coded world. This is where we are. And you're talking money, you're talking, and if it don't come from you, all it'll come from somewhere else, right? I am. It has all these hidden codes down off in here. So I sit this on here and let the codes get programmed into the water. And then I drink the water with the program, and it goes into my body. And it results in those things from there. The other part is is it simply because they challenge the accepted worldview, forcing the questions, and we're talking about the reptilian conspiracy as we know it, or could this be more cynical, right? A reason for the dismissal, or more powerful forces deliberately suppressing the truth about our reptilian overlords using ridicule and disinformation. But if you remember, I think it was the Montauk base or whatever, there was a guy's story that he said that he went to, and those vibrational code is on the site. Like I said, I'm taking all that down. If you ain't got it, I'm sorry, but I'm going to take it all down. And like I said, I was just doing it to put it out there. These are personal stuff. But the other part of this was, remember the story of Montauk or something. He said he was there, and he opened up this office, and they said it's like draconian stuff. Are they from this place? But he was wearing this royalty type robe. It was a reptilian. Guy said he looked and just saw him sitting in the other room, and they closed the door. So you're talking about that. That is some stuff, man, when it comes down to this. And there's the merch site there. Like I said, go there, get your ebooks and all, and download them and put them in the thing for yourself as well. The other part is, why does the fear of reptilian continues to persist in our modern world? Is it a primal instinct? Or are we sensing a real threat of our existence? That is something that we would want to know. And I think that because it's a primal instinct and a remnant of our ancestral fear of predators, right? I said that earlier, lurking into the shadows. That is something a lot of people's like, wait a minute, you got a reptilian, whatever, in the shadows. There's something to think about. But, is it more tangible reason for the fear, though? The boogeyman theory, right? Candyman, you say it 3 or 4 times in the mirror or whatever, and he comes out, or Chucky, hey, you want to play? Or Jason, y'all remember that? It's all this fear that perpetuate the myth, the folklore, the story. And could we be subconsciously sensing a real threat to our existence for real from a malevolent force that seeks to control and manipulate us? What if it's fucking true? What if there is truth in the fact that there is something higher force working? There is something controlling us. There's somebody out there doing this. Okay. We know the secret society is doing it. We know they exist, and they are humans. We know that they exist, but they are humans, right? So what happens if you think about it and you go back to think about that they're getting their powers or secret information how to control the masses from the reptilian race, who said this is how you do it, and then they're shape-shifting. And so why wouldn't they? We've heard the Jeffrey Epstein story, where the girl specifically says he was a reptilian. She was on tape saying that, right? We've seen stories, and I played videos back in the day where a lady was in a news station, and it was real deal. Her eyes started shifting right there in front of, and these things are there when it comes down to this. So The other part could be, once again, is the reptilian conspiracy a warning sign, a wake-up call to a hidden danger that we ignore? Because we, on one hand, is trying not to believe, because a lot of the, think about it, all of the ancient, when we had, what's his name on here from the Shalites, his son, they talked about eating rats. And he said how one of his ancient shapeshifter, y'all remember, and it was taken in a rat and her mouth got open really big. The Jackson 5, the Jacksons, or the dad and Joe and all of them was part of these rituals, eating babies and whatever. And I know a lot of people call them nuts, but there was just recently a video that surfaced, and it was talking about a lady that came up missing recently, that she was all out there, but she was caught at this police station reporting how she couldn't believe these humans and that she had been a sex slave, and she got away some kind of way. But her whole thing was they were eating people. They were drinking people's blood and all that. And man, they made her disappear quickly. So whether she was lying or whatever, they made her disappear, period. So that was segment 1. So imagine we get into segment 2 and 3. And like I said, we're going to be here. And hopefully you can hang tonight. It's Freaky Friday, but we're going to go. But it's going to be all content and information for y'all. We're going to sift through the shadows now. We're going to talk about the evidence for these reptilian existence. And we're exploring the ancient roots of the reptilian conspiracy. But what about the modern evidence? Let's get into that stuff that we know today. Are they tangible clues that the point of existence of these shapeshifters begins? And tonight, in this particular segment, we're going to embark on a journey into the murky depths of the evidence and speculation, separating the fact from fiction as the hard questions. And so with that being said, I'm going to put this on screen. I have some shape-shifting shirts, acid wash oversized shirt. They go up to 3X. We got one with the woman on it, and we have one for the men. Those are the 2 colors. I order them from a out-of-town source. They'll be shipped in. I will put these on a website for 2 days. I just want to do what I call a quick release. They'll be there, and you'll see the price there. Because there's a high quality, different kind of shirts, it'll be a little more expensive than the others. But this was custom drawn. It's got the High Strangeness logo. This is our corporate trademark line that is now official. And so I'm going to be pulling out some real good conspiracy stuff. And nobody's got a shirts out there like that. Nobody have designs like this, because they're custom drawn, and I can show you the drawings, the every step of making it. And then the guy colored them and everything. And I have all rights and ownerships to it. And it is our stuff, people. It is our stuff. And it's real cool. I think it's one of those things. Okay, so segment 1, I'm in. You're going to have a show for me to watch when I watch it. Yes, so that was segment 1. Let's get into segment 2. Shifting through the shadows, the evidence against reptilian existence. We will talk about eyewitness accounts of these strange occurrences. I think this is beneficial for us to do that. We'll go into what people talk about, the lizard man or the escape of the swamp or whatever. And you think about it, what do these make of these numerous sightings of reptilian creatures? This was way back in, I think it was the South Carolina in 1980. You can go Google and look this up. So the story goes, in 1980s, there was a rural community of Bishopville, South Carolina, was gripped by a wave of sightings of a mysterious creature described as a 7-foot-tall reptilian humanoid with glowing red eyes, and then they called him the Lizard Man. And it came to be known and was reported seen lurking in the scalp of Orr Swamp. Now, I remember when I was growing up, they even made a movie called A Swamp Thing. If you think about it, remember, if anybody young enough or old enough to remember, he was living in a swamp, but he looked just like a reptilian, right? So they actually did that. So y'all can see my water's ready. When I put it up to the mic and I open it, you're going to hear the hydrant go psh, because it puts it into that water. Okay, it's in there now, but it's with the love and abundance code in it. So I'm drinking it, and I hope that it reaches you and whoever else to do. I'm going to put our cash out back up on the screen. like I said, we're looking for some big donors, some people that really, and I call it big, 50, $100 or whatever. And I think after a few months, we won't have to do it no more. I'll make some big other announcements as well. So I'm excited, but I want to thank each and every one of you for getting me where we are today, and you're going to be proud. So anyway, it was a 7-foot tall reptilian. It's up there on the screen if you want to do. Humanoid with glowing eyes. And like I said, they talked about it was in a swamp damaging cars and terrorizing residents. And despite the numerous eyewitness accounts and even the alleged physical evidence, the creature's existence remained unconfirmed. And are these the sightings results of mass hysteria? That's your question. Hoaxes or genuine encounters with cryptids? Or could the lizard man be a manifestation of reptilian entity or simply a myth born out of local folklore? And this was in the 80s, though, people. This was in the 80s. And so I think it's something that you could look at it. Tina said, I saw a post on Twitter X that teacher explained his experience of having a reptilian kid. Don't remember if the kid was a hybrid of four. Well, we remember the movie V, so all of that stuff. Next, we can talk about celebrity sightings. Are there credible reports of public figures exhibiting reptilian traits or under transformation or transformation during speeches and interviews? We talk about that all the time. People talk about proponents of the reptilian conspiracy theory often points to alleged entities of public figures existing or exhibiting reptilian traits undergoing transformation during speeches and interviews. Remember, there was something out there one time that they were showing that the guy was being security for one of the presidents, and they were speaking, but when you turned, his thing kept malfunctioning. People caught that on video, by the way, and you can tell he was shifting back and forth, like blinking, like the vibrational was off, that he was blinking into reptilian form. So there you go. I think it's something to think about. Now, these claims typically involve fleeting moments captured on video and photographs where a person's eyes would appear momentarily to change. Remember I said that? To a vertical slit, or their skin seems to take a scaling texture. While these instances can be explained as visual anomalies, lighting tricks, or even digital manipulation, conspiracy theories argue that they are a glimpse into the true reptilian nature of things. And so are these sightings genuine evidence of shape-shifting reptilians, or are they simple the product of overactive imaginations or confirmation biases? How many of you think reptilians exist? Put a 1 in the chat and I'll give you a shout out. How many of you think reptilians exist when we hear about it? While I'm waiting for y'all to respond, let's get into alien abduction stories. Does some of these extraterrestrial encounters describe the reptilian beings as orchestrators of these abductions? Okay. Carrie says 1. She does. Northern Power says, I don't know. Rubber Raylet says 1. Low Key says 1. So is that it? Some accounts of alien abductions describes the encounters of reptilian being who they said was orchestrating some of these experiences. Some of these reptilians are also depicted as what they call cold, calculating, possessing advanced technology, using abductees for experiments, hybridization. People talk about that all the time. And could these stories be the result of trauma, false information, or even government disinformation? Or are these genuine encounters with interdimensional beings who have vested interest in humanity? Natural Healing says 1 as well. Yes, they is what Goddess says and do. Okay. She said they exist. Tina says 0.5, meaning maybe. All right. So, maybe me and the moon, I went to sleep. So she ain't responding. She says she shapeshifts, so she might be a reptilian anyway. So, all right. So what about testimony? How can we assess the credibility of these eyewitnesses, and especially those that involve these extraordinary claims when it comes down to there. All right. So witness account notoriously are unreliable because, that's one of the things that kept a lot of this stuff into the government stuff, because people will say you can't trust the witnesses. So let me open my hydrogen water that is full. Oh, she says she's here. That is full with vibrational money in abundance. So I want y'all to listen right here on the mic. You're going to listen to the hydrogen. Y'all ready? There you go. Psh, right there. Well, I said that, but right before I said that. So it is ready to drink. And voila. I had just drank my hydrogen. So keep it flow. And the money code was there. So hopefully you understood that and you knew to do it. We will continue on with the show. And like I said, we're just in segment 2. So we're going to do a lot of stuff tonight. And I'm excited about that right now. All right. So let's talk about the eyewitness. Like I said, they're notoriously unreliable. We know that. But I start believing it's time for us to trust the witnesses if we can. I remember talking to Robert Salas, and he's one of the Minutemen from the Mastrom Air Force Base when a UFO turned off our nuclear weapons. He was down off in Silo. And he says, Ryder, we got to start trusting the witnesses anyway. And he's like, let's do it. And we have to look at it. She said, what's the name of the brand of bottle? It is, once again, called, I got it on Amazon. It's called Pura Viva. Puriviva. Yeah. And so that's the one that I'm using. Yeah. So anyway, they talk about the factors like stress, fear, desire to be part of something bigger, we talked about that before. There is a lot of people out there that says, I want to be abducted by an alien. How come they don't abduct me? And some people will come out with stories. Some people will come out with stories just to belong, or to say that they had an encounter for the intention that they can get. Because in most cases, they have figured it out that who's going to verify? How are they going to know I'm lying? Now there's some other stuff. And like I said, we get your book here. The David Icke stuff, you can get this on eBay. I went on eBay and get some cheap copies and stuff. Especially if you find like the Goodwills and all that, they do free shipping. They get free shipping from the government. And so they sell them cheap. And some of them will take a little long to get to you, but there are some good ones out there that get them out like within days. And I've had some waiting for 2 weeks, before they ship them and everything else. But we're talking about factors of fear and stress and desire to be into something bigger. And additionally, the human brain is prone to filling in the gaps and creating narratives that make sense of our experiences, even those narratives are not entirely accurate. I have to always break that down when people call and tell me about their UFOs or their aliens encounters, because there's a series of questions that I won't get into, but usually I can get into a roundabout way, whether they're, bending the light truth of sometimes or really speculating. And usually when we get stuff like when people report stuff and if you say, well, sample will be, how high up was it or was it, I can see it and I saw what color the ship was. And if any of you looked up in the sky and you saw a 747 or in basic one of them big old jets, it looks a little bit like a little pin drop sitting up there. You get some people that tell you they saw an alien driving it. I've had that to happen where, they saw the alien in the window. And I'm like, really? And I say it in a way to be like, really? And they be like, yeah, man, I can see his face, drive. You didn't see that. Yeah. Somebody says, so we download the 400 books. Yes, you can download that. And if you do, we've been doing our book club for the last 3 weeks. A lot of people is in here tonight in the book club. We've been having some great conversations on Tuesday night. Monica runs it. Ricky is there. Sandra is there. I'm there. So we on the screen on Zoom, and it's real intimate. We can talk. We ask a lot of questions and And sometimes we veer off into some of this alien and news stuff. We get really deep in there for a few hours on Tuesdays. It's all personal. It's 10 or 15 of us, and and it's really good. So if you go there and buy the downloads, it's on the website, on the merch. You can go, and then if anybody's doing it, I'll make sure that we get you into the email process that you can join the book club. You won't be disappointed on that. So I will tell you to go get that tonight too, because I do plan on pulling that down, because the book club stuff is full. Well, they can still buy it, but I don't promise them to get on the book club. But if I know anybody buy it tonight, then I'll see the email and send you or give it to Monica so that she'll put you into our email list. So that'll be a promise there. So I will tell you to go into it tonight and do that. What about photographic and evidence, glitches or anomalies when we want to talk about this, or some of the strange distortions or visual anomalies, when we talk about that? Because, we're in a digital age now when it comes down to the reptilians. Mars is in the book club as well. It is, we have a book club where if you go and you buy, there's a file that has 400 UFO books in it. And then we all pick a book together, and then we go over it for a week or two or whatever into that. So if you go into the merch site, you will see it, and then you will be able to get it. And we can do that. So that'll be something for you to get. And pretty much y'all give a shout out to Feta Brown for supporting us tonight. Hopefully you in the room tonight, because this is probably one of the nicest orders we've gotten, shirts. She bought several shirts and books and stuff. And so thank you for supporting us and supporting what we're doing tonight. I really appreciate it. So that is really nice today for all the stuff that you got. I can't wait to get it out to you as quickly as I can. So kudos to you. I will say that. How about that? Yeah. So other than that, so it's and that's why I believe in these abundance codes. At least some of you are fulfilling that prophecy that it works. I mean, and it does. And in this reciprocity, of course, when you're doing it. So Rebel Rob Raider, she says there will be a link sent to you. So Monica is in charge of that. She does a phenomenal freaking job. I mean, give her a shout out and how she handles it and everything else. But she'll tell you, we get into some deep conversations, man. We go into some deep, because it's just a few, they ask me and they talk, we talk. It is real personal. And last week I shared them with some intimate details that none of y'all heard, only the book club members heard, told some insider stories, some inside information that no one else knows about but the good book club people that was there. And that's where I feel comfortable of sharing some inside stuff, because it's just us. We're on that Zoom and off the record, so to speak. So if you want to get in on that, go in and get your ebooks tonight. It's a 400 page. It'll say 400 ebooks, and then we'll send that link out. Let's we're going to get into what I call the Mandela effect when it comes down to these reptilians. I think there's something to cover. And could the phenomenal share what they call false memories be an evidence of reptile manipulation? Because see, the Mandela effect phenomena is where a large number of people share a false memory of a past event or detail. And some conspiracy theorists believe that this phenomenon is evidence of the reptiles manipulating our reality, altering our memories to cover up the existence. Now, could the Mandela effect be a glitch in the matrix, a sign that our reality is not as stable as we believe, or simply a quirk in human memory? Sound coming like Truman Show, right? The glitch in there and all that stuff. And so, it could be. It really could be. And I think it's something that Northern Power said. I just watched the movie Mandela Effect for the first time. So I'm saying, we have all of those possibilities out there, right? You have all of those hidden truths and possibilities that exist. And so why wouldn't it at some point be part of that phenomena that it could possibly happen? So I think it's something for us to look at, to try to understand, and everything else. Yeah, and especially when you get into digital manipulation in an area where we got Photoshop. Y'all hear that, right? The little ching ching, that is just a beautiful freaking sound. So give a shout out to Carlos for getting the vibrational codes. And believe me when I say, yeah, we're going to end all of that soon. I just pray, or suggest that a lot of you have that stuff, because you're not going to find it anywhere else. And I guarantee you, people's lives are being changed right as I speak for those people who are getting those stuff. So in the area of Photoshop, we talk about the deep fakes, AI, advanced video editing. So it's easier to manipulate images and videos, because we get that with MUFON when I was doing our reports, right? People will send these photos and all that, and they'll be like, it's some real stuff, but you can go right in there and eventually at some point you will know that it's fake, or Facebook put metadata into the photos, or they pull it off Facebook and send it to us, and then you can go pull it up. There's some software, it'll tell you this was put on Facebook 3 years ago, and they'll say it just happened last night. And I don't ever break nobody's fantasy or tell them that I know it's fake. We just note it in the file, so when any of the other investigator sees it, we keep it to ourselves, and you just kind of like, okay, fine, they're doing this. And so, all right, give a shout out to Netta. I guess she's just getting here. She says, hi, Roderick. So those are things. But when you think about these raised questions about the authentic of some of these visual evidence to prove that reptilians exist. And we're going to get deeper in a minute in this, because I believe they're here. I believe that reptilians are underground, and the ones that shapeshift are above ground, but there are a society of them down on the ground, because you're talking about global warming. If there was a book I was reading, a theological prophecy, and what they said in the book was, reason why the aliens stay underground is because the surface area of Earth is so unpredictable. Although we're living in the lifetimes of 100 years, and they're living thousands of years. So what used to be a mountain, what used to be oceans or whatever, theoretically changes so much. And so it's like we say the theory of building our house on the sand. So they don't go for that. They don't go for the reptilians said, we're going to go where it's constant, and that's underground. Now, the stories of you go down there and there's some underground rivers, and we know that exists. Okay. We know groundwater, the aquifers and all that is underwater. So if you can imagine an aquifer running underwater, and you manage to build a dome around it, right? You build a dome around the aquifer. So now you got a water pond underground. So, all right. So we have a new book club member. So y'all give a shout out to Jamie. Man, you're going to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to enjoy being part of the book club. You're going to enjoy the private talks that we have in private. I think it's real intimate. And if any of y'all been in the book club, and you just enjoy the team spirit of what we got going on there, put it in the chat, because I want people to really know a testimony. Give a testimonial of the book club and how we rolled and all that. So I know 3 or 4 of y'all is in here tonight. So I know Maya's here, Marla, Philly Cat. There was a couple of them that are here, so that's good. But anyway, y'all give Jamie T a shout out if you're in the chat, and thank you for joining us with the book club and supporting the dream. Like I said, that love and abundance go well. Money and abundance and love and all that stuff, and so hopefully love is coming soon on that side of the fence, and abundance of it all. I'm claiming it now, right? Life is changing in a lot of stuff. And by the way, my weight is down some more. I did gain a couple of pounds back for not being able to work out because of the knee, and I was ticked off to the highest activity. But for y'all know, I used to be on metformin and all of that, and the doctors pulled me off metformin about a week and a half ago. So I'm no longer taking it. So I'm down with the blood pressure and something else. And if I keep the exercise and the regimens and the weight is coming down, then they're going to take me off all of that, as long as I stay consistent and everything else. And so I'm excited about that from there as well. So we would do that. Becky says, hi, my Rod, what's going on? Yeah, so those are the good things. I still got a long journey, hopefully I'm 100 plus pounds next year. Got the swag, well, I'm swag now. I'm beautiful. I'm really beautiful now and handsome and lovable and all of that stuff. I wish I can show y'all that fluid that came out of my knee, man. I have to email me a picture and put it up here on the screen, but y'all trip out. She said I just got the book. So what's that? Is that you, Jamie T. Reverator? Is that your real name, Jane? Is it Jamie that just got the books? Otherwise, I thought that was a male name. I'm sorry, my bad. But was that you? That just got them, or was that something else? Maybe I'm off. But anyway, let me know if that was you, and if so, yeah, thank you for doing what you do. Yeah. Yeah. Let me put it here, but yeah, that's my wife's name. I'm Jerry. Okay. All right. So thank you. All right. So thank y'all for y'all give a shout out to Rebel Way. Thank you for being part of it. You won't be disappointed. I'll take your email, send it to Monica tonight or in the morning. She'll put you on the email list for the book club. She said, I would join the club soon. We're gonna close. We actually closed the club out. If you can buy the ebooks, but tonight I'm just trying to make sure anybody who's gonna do it tonight, then I'll put you on it. But it used to say that you get an automatic invite. I took that down because we're moving along, but it's a real close-knit family and what we're doing, and we really have a family. So if you want to join, I'm not trying to force you into anything, but if it's in your budget to go ahead and get it tonight, then anybody I'm seeing now, and maybe I think that later on when this thing is playing, I'll know that they saw this video, and so I will immediately send it over there. But there are some people that bought it 2 weeks ago, and they're not in the book club because we closed it out. But for everybody who's doing it tonight, we will do that. Okay. From there. All right. So it's just me and Ricky is the only guys. I wish we had more fellas in there, but now Rebel Radio is going to be there. Jerry's going to be there with us. So cool, because it's just me and Ricky and a bunch of other women. And, and when we try to go hard on a conversation, we got to get a little sensitive and make sure we don't scare them with the truth. And we can't talk, I have to be passive. But if I just got like 2 or 3 more fellas and we can balance some of this stuff out, I'll get some stuff with y'all. Yeah. So you and Roderick were tired of being the only ones. Yeah. We're tired of being the only ones, but it's all right. That's cool. I mean, if I was, it's all good. We'll talk about the scientific perspective of the biological impossibility, the concept of shape-shifting. Let's get into that right now. Describes the conspiracy theories present a significant challenge to the understanding of biology. And while the animals can change colors, we know octopuses do it right there in front of you, you know what I'm saying? And chameleons and all that stuff. So we know it exists. So why wouldn't, if they're doing a vibration, we'll do some stuff like that. It's pretty cool when it gets down to that. So while some animals can change color or camouflage themselves, complete transformation from the human reptilian form would require a radical reconstruction of DNA and cellular mechanisms that is currently beyond our comprehension and could be undisclosed processes there. So, is there a burden of truth? Is there the absence of concrete information when it comes down to these reptilians? That's it. So somebody put in the chat, what is your most famous reptilian story? The last part of the show, we'll get in some of the movies that are out there. And what they were about, and some hidden gems part of the movie that you might have missed. And I wrote all that down for you. So, and that is in segment 4, and we're in 2 right now. So we got another couple of hours tonight. So, what I'm saying is, what do you think about all of that? If you really put the thoughts together, what do you think when it comes down to this and what we're doing? And so, the absence of concrete scientific evidence is a problem. This is why the scientific community is like, reptilians can't exist because they don't believe in it. Or does it place the burden of proof on a proposed for that? So we have to kind of look at it and say, okay, let's do this. Anyway, like I said, we're going to put the Cash App up. Okay. if any of you, I'd rather to put it on the website. I will do it later. But if any of you want this shirt, like I said, I'm hoping 10 of you. And first of all, let's do a poll right now. Tell me which one you would buy. The one with the guy on the front of the shirt, whether you're male or female, or would you buy Oprah? So that's Puff Daddy and Oprah is who it really was. All right. So let me know, would you buy the Puff Daddy, which is kind of a grayish there, and it's kind of a green. Both of them are acid wash, high quality shirts. It's not a Bella Canva. It's really high. They're a lot more expensive. But which one of these would you sport? Okay. I just want to know. I thought about putting an image on the back, and I had a little design on the front. And then I had another one that I will share with you all pretty soon that we would do. But anyway, let me know which one would you sport, the male one or this one. I just want to get a synopsis of would you even wear it? Would any of you even wear it? How about that? Let me know. Who would want one? Who would want one if I made it available tonight? Who would go and buy it between the now and the next day? Someone said second one. That doesn't help me because I'm flipping back and forth. So let me know if it's the male Puff Daddy or Oprah one. How about that? So yeah, let me know, Victoria, because it won't. I'm just flipping them back and forth, so I don't know first or second one that you see. But let me know specifically if you can. Somebody said both of them. Okay, all right. She said the female. All right. So there it is. That's the male one up there, and then the female is this one. And yeah, so that's a cool one. And so again, it's going to be limited print for right now. We'll probably throw it back up a little later. It goes up to 3X. Now I can put it on a bigger 4 or 5, but it won't be the acid wash shirts. And if that's something special that you want, then cash out me and put your size and telephone number, and then I will call you, and it'll be a different type of shirt because that particular brand and style only goes up to a 3X. And so, yeah, and I can't wear one myself because they don't make my size. I'm big for my age right now. I could just put it on this one though, just it's a Reebok shirt. Pull the Reebok off and do that. Somebody says we could look at the, like I said, the burden of proof is a different evidence on it. We can talk about psychological explanations. Could the reptilians be a manifestation of the phenomenon? Because all of this is headspace. When you start talking about this, you're talking about the human mind. And man, I didn't get enough of y'all say y'all like the shirts. Somebody said both. Both are tight. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. How much of the shirt design? Those so those shirts I'm doing it to raise the capital for the thing. So the shirts are a lot expensive, so they're gonna be like $45. But it's gonna be well worth it. They're really high quality acid wash oversized shirts, really freaking cool. And it's worth it. Like I said, it's a custom design. I had an artist to draw them so that no one else having High Strangeness brand like that is to commemorate our clothing line that went through the U.S. trademark. It is now a trademark. Yes, we are now trademark. High Strangeness is trademark. The show, the YouTube channel is trademark. My own tagline, and you may not believe it, which you're going to see part of the documentary series coming out. Audio books are coming out. So now I can go all in, sign some contracts and deals that the trademark is ours from there. And so I don't have the shirts up, so you can't go order them tonight. I just got to figure out. I should have done that. And maybe some of you would have bought them tonight. But I will put it up briefly on the website. It'll take, just know tomorrow. Just go look for it tomorrow, and I'll leave it up to Monday or Tuesday, and then to see who I'll order them and get yours limited, whatever. And then you will get your name part of the thank you page of our first documentary as well. That'll just be a thank you, but the people who are giving graciously, I got a special place for you all. Like I said, I would call Ricky out. Ricky was a big spender, a big giver, but he hadn't given anything. So y'all call Ricky out tonight. That's my guy, though. He gives me a hard time, so I'm going to give him one right now that, usually he'll be like, okay. Anyway, it's all good. He'd be like, what the fuck? All right, school. I'll have to beep that out later. So anyway, we're talking about the reptilian as a product. They call some called the Occam's razor, which is a principle of psychological reasoning, suggests that the simplest explanation is most than likely. In this case of the reptilians, they said the conspiracy theory's simplest explanation is that the reptilians is a product of everybody's imagination and its folklore and its cultural anxieties. And does this explanation sufficiently account for the evidence presented by the conspiracy theorists? Or is it there a more complex, unsettling truth lurking beneath the surface? And is this a dismissal of the reptilian form of intellectual laziness? Okay. Or everything else. Ricky talked about, he said, I want tickets to the awards and conference. I may meet you there. This is where you sneeze and go, bullshit. I'm allergic to bullshit. He ain't coming. No, come. Now, really, do come, man. We're going to have a great time. We're going to do a meet and greet probably Friday night. Maybe some Saturday in between. No, probably not Saturday in between because we're going to do the cruise. But Friday night, if you're there Friday night, we're going to do a meet and greet in the hotel. So we'll order some pizza like we did last year. I know cosmetology is going to be, David is going to be, he got his tickets. Daryl Bishop Nichols texted me today. He got his tickets. He's staying in the hotel. He's coming in on that Thursday. So there are going to be a lot of people there. And we're going to do a official meet and greet of our community at the hotel. So y'all can come out. We'll kick it a little bit Friday together and talk some stuff, take some pictures, talk to each other. We did it last year. We had a great time. 20 or 30 of us around in a circle, man. And it was just the most beautiful thing. So if you want a ticket and you're going to come, get those flights and hotels. You don't have to stay there at that hotel. You can always Uber and Lyft over and do that. So, but we will try to figure out by next Friday is to get everybody's telephone number in a text chain. And so that way, that's how we did it. We had a group text and we were able to text everybody that we knew was going to be there. And then we were able to all communicate in a group chain to meet and do some stuff. And then we can meet different times throughout that weekend too. And I would love for all of you to be there for the book signing and get an autographed copy of the book and support. And so I can have a line of my constituents there and standing up and, shaking and saying congratulations. And we might do something special there. So yeah, we can do that. Now, Roderick knows I'm real. I told him I was going to get the books. Yeah, you got the books. You did. So yeah, Rebel Raider got the books. He's in the book club and he'll be there with us and we will do that. So y'all give him appreciated. Yeah, now I know he's real. Yeah, so we'll do that. So and we're gonna see you on the face up too, because everybody in the book club had their cameras on and we just really get to know each other. So the other part is government disclosure and cover-ups. Is it possible that the governments around the world are active? I call them big secret keeper. Are they concealing the evidence of these reptilians? And why would they, right? Are secret agencies or class 9 operations are working together to suppress the information? And could they shatter our understanding of reality? I already said that we know these things are hooked to secret societies. So why wouldn't they? And Pretty Bird. All right. So Becky said, Rod, you look great. Appreciate it. You know what? I haven't heard that in a long time. Thank you. I haven't heard, you look great today, Roderick. I went down to Houston and I was hoping, well, at least Billy and Liz said, man, you're looking great. But no one else said, oh, lost some weight or nothing. Maybe they just didn't know me like that. And I spoke to the front of the room. I introduced Billy and Liz and people were, and it was full. The whole theater was full. And I said, how many of y'all watch me? All the hands went up and I was like, damn. And what was so good about it was, so Billy and Liz left a few minutes early with security so he can get out. So the next person was me. And I wasn't thinking, but I got bombarded. People was like, hey, man, take your pictures. Man, it was great meeting you. I watch your stuff. And to know the lives that you touch in real life, man, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it motivated me even more. Now not one of them said, okay, maybe they didn't see me before. So that's fine. But just to say the wonderful stuff. And so, all right. So Becky said, don't forget it. I know, Rod, I see you. FFRR. Is that roof or something? I don't know what the FRFR means. So, I don't know all that lingo. Northern Downper said, Rod, you are loved. And I ask and don't tell enough how good you look. See, that Ricky's going to contribute tonight. Y'all call Ricky out. Ricky should be cash apping right now, big baller style, and contributing to our documentary. Me and the Moon said, I could even talk to you, laugh out loud. People were trying to get to you. Yeah, we was on the phone and people were coming up and, I was like, and people was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. It was real cool. Now it'll be a little more intense at the Conscious Award, but that's what you work for, man. That's when Now I see y'all in here all the time. Okay. But when you really see live, and that's why I'm hoping I get a cameraman this year. I want somebody to be there that's in the camera business that live in Miami, and we can have them to come and watch and follow in the video. I want to capture those moments this year. And I was hoping my community would post stuff on the social media and help me. I guess I need to create some kind of ad or something, but maybe we can get someone to do that. So let me get back on track. She said that word means what? She said, that's what that means. Let me bag back up and see. For real, for real. Okay. All right. Rod is betraying your bromas at Ricky. Betraying bromance. Hell, come on now. You ought to know. See, we would just, me and Philly Cat were just getting back like this, because I was a little, frustrated with her. Yeah, we were just like this. And now she going to put another foolish wedge. She going to take it back because she's my buddy. She going to take it back because she know there ain't no bromance with that. Don't even put that out there. Somebody's going to quote that shit, right? And that's not it, at all. Yeah. She's a conspiracy theorist, but that's cool. We cool. Yeah, I was frustrated with you. Yeah, a couple of times I was like, man, because she would throw some shout outs in it. Not mad. Mad and frustrated is not the same thing. Okay. Not the same thing. Frustration, we still talk cool and do whatever. I just frustrated. Mad is like, I'm done with people, right? We not that. So those are not the two sides of the coin. Okay. But do you know what bromance is? No, it just don't sounds good. I don't even really know what it says. Romance and bro. So those two things together to me is like something like Puff Daddy shit. You know what I'm saying? Or some of that stuff. But anyway, let's keep going. Selena, there are so many books and pages I will be reading for life. Yeah, there's 400, but we pick a book that we go through when you get the list. So for the thing. So is it possible that the secret agencies are hiding? Could the classified documents and top secret contain proof of reptilians and interaction with humans hidden away from public view? Okay. And is there a lack of transparency, abundance of conspiracy theories surrounding government agencies, and a sign that they're hiding something from more cynical imaginations? And so she says, Rebel, I know I have to join the book club soon. That's right. Me and the Moon is not in the book club. So anyway, that's a different invite. So what about the deep state? Could there a network of reptilians controlled individuals operating with our government? So let's get into that part, because that is where most of us think that they hide. She said, don't deny your friendship. She said, I won free tickets and I may get out to Belize in August. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So, you know what I'm saying? It's the deep state is a hidden network of unelected officials in the cabal or individuals operating outside public scrutiny. Now, they have gained traction in recent years for the New World Order. You have all of this stuff that could be a shadow organization, be controlled by the reptilians. Now, pulling the strings behind the scenes and manipulating global events for their own agenda, or decisions made in the halls of power that influence overlords. Now, we're talking politicians and leaders we see on our screens are puppets, and they're only carrying out the will of these reptilian masters. We see this all the time. We see it all the time, that we think the people that we see are pulling the strings. But we're finding out now from all of even this Puff Daddy stuff, there are some more bigger, sinister, powerful people that are behind these scenes. And these people are there with the strings like the Godfather. They're puppeteers running stuff, and they don't have to. And they're above the law. They're above our societal views. Now, all of these people traces back to Skulls and Bones. No, not in Skulls and Bones. There are some, and what's so bad about all of these secret societies? They all come from, most of them, Freemasonry. In which they're against each other. It's like they break off in these factions in each secret society, although their brotherhood comes to the same, they all practice the same laws and stuff, but they're not, their agendas are different. And it's easy to say that because just like anything else, there's a disagreement, somebody go start their own church, then we got another church, and you come to Dallas, they're over in South Dallas alone, where the poor people stay. On record, there is 700 churches. It's like every week somebody spawns out, and I think it's one of those things, and so that's fine. He says, mad respect, Roderick, his message and work. I see a sense of humor. I try to bring fun. Freaky Friday ruined me. You're all right. You'll be all right. But there's a lot of churches, man. There's a lot of churches. But they're all a breakaway civilization churches from one other church, and they're all these many houses, and they're one on every corner. And I remember my aunt came from California one year. I was a little young. I was in the back seat, and she said, "Roderick," she said, "if you go to hell in Dallas," she said, "it's your own fault." She said, "There's a church on every corner. There's no way you're gonna go to hell in Dallas." I was young then, so like, all right, cool. So at that point, that's one of the stories. But the other part of this, when we talk about politicians, so let's dive deeper into the deep state of this. Let's dive deeper as a personal journey real quick in that, because when you date back to secret societies, like I said, when you date back to secret societies, you do find that they have these cult practices, and so often they all go back to rituals. Okay, they all go back to rituals, and that's a different story. And so you have to think about that when it happens that they go back to these rituals. And so why is that? And then these rituals lead back to blood-thirsty eating people, little people too, right? And they like little people because supposedly it's a little more tender and whatever, but they doing this. And everybody's going through these rituals. So why wouldn't we believe that is happening? I did a report. We have over 500,000 people that's reported missing. Not the ones that goes unreported. We're talking young people come up missing every freaking year. They disappear off the face of the planet. So you multiply that by, and it goes up 600,000, but they keep it right under the radar. So where do they go? So let's do a 10-year clock. 6, 7, 8 million people coming up missing. That's like Dallas that's everybody in Dallas almost somewhere, right? Or one of these big towns, and they're somewhere residing, living, multiplying, being eaten or whatever, and they're there, and we can't find them. We don't even know where to go. So if you're going to do that, you take them underground. You take them underground or something, or some people say off the planet or whatever. But that is some of the stuff, man, that you have to think about. And say that these people are pretty much. So by the way, my beard has grown back. I know y'all know that I was complaining how it got cut down, and I let it grow back. So it's growing. That is something there. But yeah, I mean, they're eating people. They and supposedly our government have some type of we have some type of agreement that we will allow them to kidnap and do things to people. You know, that is one of the things that they said that we said that they can do. We will let them kidnap and do those things. And so why wouldn't that be an issue once we think about it? So I don't know. I think it's as crazy as it comes. I think it's something that you would have to think about. But why wouldn't we look into it? Yeah, because ain't nobody's going to do it. They're not going to look into the scenario and say what happened to these people or what's going on. And when we know we got all of these kids that are missing every year they're coming up missing consistently, by the way, and it's something that we could do. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have any answers for that, but I do say that it's something a little leery about it that we need to think about that once it goes down. David Gaines is in the house, Cosmostrology. He's going to be at the Conscious Award. So we're going to do a meet and greet Friday. He's going to be at the same hotel. So we all going to kick it and do some stuff. So we get to all meet face up and everything else. And so once again, before we get ready to move on to the other part, like I said, we have our Reptilian Shapeshifter shirts, male and female. So we have it and we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. So when it comes down to that, so I'm excited to know that these are things that we're doing. So let's look and see what we got here. All right, Ricky, you got jokes, man. But thank you for the contribution. But he got jokes, y'all. He really got some jokes. Boy. He got some jokes. But thank you for the contribution. Y'all give him contribution. He actually is the top provider tonight. He's given the top contribution to cash out to what we're doing tonight. So y'all give him a shout out to that. But the amount and the number, okay, I get you. Boy, he's funny. But of course he's just chilling or tripping chilling. But it's all good. It's all good. But the other part of that is to I'm trying to see if I can put a picture in here for y'all if I can load up another picture and then we can kind of see what we got going on here. Wait 9 minutes and what? It's crazy. Why would I want to wait 9 minutes for? Huh. Interesting. All right. So I'm not resetting my password, so we'll keep going. All right. So the other part is, how did you know? Yeah, he did. He did give 69, Rebel Ray. You must be like, yeah, that was the number. I'm like, he got jokes, but yeah, there what it was right there. He gave $69, and so I think I get the humor in that or something, if there's humor in it. But I get the supposedly underlying shit in there. But what about whistleblowers and the power of denial when it comes down to it's like the government's consistently denied the existence of extraterrestrials and dismissing the theory as a baseless conspiracy. But could this denial be like what we call a strategic move to maintain control and prevent mass panic? So once again, we talk about all of that, but we talk about the fact that these people have a plan. They definitely have a plan, and they have a way of doing what they do to the way they do it. So it's like, okay, what do you do when it comes down to this? And so I think that's something that we would have to totally look at and understand that it's not something to play with. It's not something to play with from there. And so, all right, the daughter of Zion sent a contribution. Thank you very much. I'll give a shout out to the daughter of Zion. So thank you very much. And so you all are really blessing some stuff tonight. You know, we still got a heap of a mile to cover, but you all are really doing freaking awesome. You know, and it just really let me know to keep doing the great things that I'm doing. And so you guys are really doing good tonight. Just want you to know. In spite of all that, in spite of anything, you all are doing good. All right. So yeah. So anyway, let's keep going with the show. Let's get into some discussions here. Why are so many eyewitnesses of the reptilian creatures and shapeshifters or individuals? And are these stories fabrication, or could they be glimpsed into the reality? And we know these stories are simply the product of overactive imaginations fueled by cultural fascinations with reptilian architects. Or are they hoax and pranks and to get attention? What do y'all think about that? Or could it be that these witnesses have stumbled up on the hidden truth? Maybe they got it. Maybe they got a glimpse into the reality of what most of us are blind to. Because remember I said, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. If you don't think reptilians and all that exists, you're not going to grasp it anyway when you see them. You're not going to do it. And those are one of the things that you have to look at it. But the whole point is that true? Or could these witnesses have, like I said, could it be that the sheer volume of these accounts spanning different cultures and times and periods suggest a pattern that can't be early dismissed? Because, see, when I think about it now, and as we're talking about it, the reptilians seem to be the one controlling Earth and everything else, but we don't hear the Greys doing it. We don't hear the Palladians or all of these different species or civilizations or humanoids or whatever we want to call it. They don't have the malevolent storyline that the reptilians have, which are draconians or some type of overlords or everything else. But yet, when you listen to Credo Muto's story, he simply definitely talks about the how they go into the situation of again being vampires or how they he tells a story of how we got our sex organs. He said that when humans was here, that we wasn't procreating. And so the reptilians pulled a fast one on us. So he said they build this cave. And he said that they told people to choose. It was a red cave and a blue cave. It's kind of funny. Now, the Matrix, remember the Matrix movie, had the symbolization of there was this red pill and blue pill. He said that in the story of the reptilians back in the day had a cave and they put these lights in there, and these lights was red and blue, and people had to choose the red light or the blue light. One, I think, came out when you came back out, you had a male and you had a male apparatus, right? Y'all know what that is. So then some came out with females, but at this point they all came out all lumptuous and they had these, breasts and all this stuff. And so he said all of a sudden immediately jealousy ensued. He said that the women were upset because they didn't have nothing dangling in between. The man was upset because they didn't have this. And he said it stirred this emotion. And then all of a sudden they kind of introduced the sexual side of it. And somehow that backfired to a point where it wasn't what we see it today as this fantastic thing, because there was something else behind it. But he tells the story. So it's really interesting if you go into the thing and look into it and say, Me and the Moon says, I'm the reptilian. All right, well, all right, she's a reptilian. And somebody says Roderick she was saying she's a reptilian and Roderick, are you a reptile? No, I'm not a reptile. And not at all. So why do some photographs and videos appear to show these anomalies? Distortion could be interpreted as evidence of the reptilian. So we think there are shape-shifting devices or failing on them. Are these simply optical illusions or tricks of light and shadows or artifacts of digital compression? Or is the tendency for patterns and facing the random shapes and all of this? And could these anomalies be genuine glitches into the matrix, right? And people saying the matrix is here. So what I'm starting to find out is I started doing this ancient research that all the folklore and stories that we've heard, they all come from one main story, and over time they begin to disseminate out in, to other areas, and it just changes. And then therefore culturally we have all of these stories. And so that's what a point that you think about, Yeah. And so he said that's what a reptile would say. Oh, yeah, I got it. Obama had a reptilian secret service. Yeah, that was one of the videos that got surface reverberated, that they caught a secret service agent that was protecting Obama. And when they showed him, and this was on one of the real videos, that his shape-shifting thing started kind of blinking, and he turned, and you saw the reptilian. And he was like a secret service, but he was a reptilian. And that went around for a while. He also married to a man. No, we're not going to go there now. He is not married to no man. You know what I'm saying? He's not married to no man, and that is not it. Pretty much from that. Yeah, so we're not going to do that. But I'm saying it's you said don't be smacking him with your tail, Selena. Huh? Oh, y'all have some intimate, no, not intimate. Y'all have some interesting conversations tonight. Okay, cool. But anyway, why do scientific communities so reluctant to investigate the possibilities of reptilian existence? Is the lack of credible evidence, or is there a fear of challenging the established paradigm? So simply the lack of evidence, a case of extraordinary claims requiring extraordinary proof, right? Carl Sagan says that. Or is there a deeper reason for the reluctance? And could it be the scientific establishment afraid of the implications such as a discovery? Or would the confirmation of the reptilian existence shatter our understanding of biological evolution? Or is there a place in the universe for this? Or the scientists afraid of it all, right? Because we know scientists have a reason that they don't go through those things, right? They just don't do it. But there's one of those things you have to do. And why do the government consistently deny the reptilians? Well, of course, we talk about that. They're going to deny. They're going to continue to deny, because it just makes sense for them to do so. It only makes sense for them to do so. Why not deny? That is something they're going to do. So that is something that they're going to do. And simple matter of fact, dismissing the baseless conspiracy theories is more cynical motive, right? Could the government actively, and like you said, is covering up the truth, or are they saying we can't handle the truth, and all protecting their own power or authority, truth versus authority, by maintaining the illusion of human control, or is this a denial of psychological warfare? All right. So these questions were designed to challenge your assumptions, to encourage you to think critically about the evidence that I'm talking about sparking the debate or about the discussion. And again, we can go deeper into that. We can talk about it a little bit. So that's what it was for. All right. So we're at the end of segment 2. We're going to get ready to go into segment 3, and which is cool. So we got 4 segments tonight. This is unmasking. Segment 3 is unmasking the agenda, the reptilian quest for power. And this goes into what we've been talking about. What if the reptilians truly exist and they are secretly manipulating our world? And could they possibly be their motive? What could be why? And so we're going to explore why in this section. What drives these creatures to seek to dominion over humanity? Why would they want to do that? And tonight, in this particular segment, we're going to venture into the realm of speculation. So we're going to do a lot of speculation, exploring the possible reasons behind their agenda. So can y'all hang? We got segment 3 and 4. So let me know if you can hang. I'll keep going, or I'll end the show. If y'all can hang, we've been here a couple of hours, but we still got about another hour or so left. We're, a couple of hours of doing what we're doing, and we're on topic tonight. So let me know if you can hang. Let me know if you're going to hang around and stay. But in the meantime, as we move into segment 3, we have our reptilian shape-shifting shirts. Okay. I have not put them up. I'll put it on the website, by tomorrow. You can order them over the weekend. They go up to 3x, and hopefully you'll get it. If I can get 10 of you to buy them, that would be beautiful in there. And then once again, for those of you who are knowing what we're doing with our business, our first documentary, I had a meeting with Billy Carson this Sunday, and we are going to, I gave him a pitch on the idea. He loved it. Of course, he says, hey, once you finish it, y'all do it. Let me make an offer for it. So we can probably do some great stuff doing that. And so hopefully that you all are willing to, so that we can do it together. So hopefully that, that you understand and get involved. So, but then anyway, if you were to, once again, decide to send a contribution to Cash Out, I'm looking for the big spenders, because we need y'all tonight. Your $50 and your $100 people. That if you can put it their way, I'll give you a true blessing on the back end of thanking you for the support. And then those of you who decide that you want the email and like y'all was asking and that didn't do it, like I said, most of you don't do it. And you have a opportunity to, be part of the back end of the original documentary. And we would do that. So if that's something you want to do, I'm going to show y'all another design that we're going to be working on, and I'm going to probably bridge this out next week. So let me see if I can put it up first to do this, and then we will go this route. Let's do that. But anyway, so if the reptilians truly exist and they are manipulating our world, so we are masking the agenda right now, okay? And if they truly exist and they are, really, could they possibly be doing this because they have a reason? So let's talk about the resource of exploration here. And we can talk about gold, okay? Because oftentimes we try to talk about the gold. All right, so let me show y'all. Here is another shirt that we're going to roll out in a couple of weeks. Tell me what y'all think. It's our Cosmic Cowboy. This is custom done for us. High Strangeness brand down there. Has Why the Big Secret sitting hidden and off in there. Based on a Texas theme. And it is our Cosmic Cowboy. I have two versions of that. Two different little styles, but they both, it's a front and back print though. So that'll be on the back. And then we have this other stuff on the front. So it's kind of like a little streetwear. That'll be on our regular shirts. It'll take a little while. Tell me what y'all think about that. And would you wear it? Would you buy it? Let me know. If you'll buy it, then I know I'll roll it out in a few weeks. If you won't, then I won't. Let me know. Somebody said they like it. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. What do y'all think there? And we can put that up. Y'all like that or not? Anybody like it or you don't like it? Somebody says, sorry, you don't. Or, oh, yes, y'all having a talk. Anyone else? Tell me if y'all like this. Give me more. It's our Cosmic Cowboy. Like I said, it'll be a two-sided shirt. Actually, it's going to be a front and back. This is going to be on the back. And then it has another print on the front. There's two different styles of this once you get ready for it, for that. And so, in doing that. So, what did he, I didn't read what Alexander said. So let me go back. Maybe it's something. He said the same as kings and stuff. Some people bring them and not charge them for services rendered. I don't know what he mean by that, but yeah, maybe y'all can. But I got my protectors in the house, so y'all doing y'all thing. Cool. All right, so nobody else said y'all like the shirt. All right, that's cool. Good job. But anyway, so when I went to the doctor, they stuck me, man, with this needle yesterday, and they pulled that fluid out of my knee. Look at that. That came out of my knee yesterday, and seriously, soon as she finished that, I limped in. I wore a knee brace going in. I couldn't even walk hardly. And when they did that and gave me the other shot, because they said I'm gonna need a knee replacement, I I walked out of there. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, you got a lot of fluid in your knee. I'm like, what the hell? But it's golden, baby. Look at that. Gold. Man, I told you I better love some Roderick, man. I better love some Roderick. So, yeah, that stuff hurt, man. Oh, my God. It hurt. Yeah, I feel better now, man. I feel real better. So, no pain. A little irritated, a little bit. I went to the gym today, but I was happy, man. I was so happy that I got back on that bicycle, and then I did leg exercises today. And I'm telling you, yesterday I couldn't even do anything. I walked in and she said, "You're going to feel a lot better when we're done." And they, but then when they discovered the fluid, she said, "Yeah, now we really know what's happening with you." So they drained that bad boy, and I was like, "Yes." I don't know what kind of fluid it is, but it was in my knee. They did tell me something what happens when it's inflamed and all of that, but that is a painful scenario. So are the reptilians drawn to Earth for the metals, like the Anunnaki was, particularly gold, which they may need for their advanced technology? Because you got to remember, Quato Muthro talked about when aliens and stuff or those ships was visiting Africa way back then, they all were, these ships were made of gold. And that went all the way back to ancient civilization, that these ships were gold, that's one of the things. So Elliot says, have anyone actually met Rod? I think there's some people there met me. I'll be at the Conscious Awards in a week and a half. You want to come? We're going to have a meet and greet. Yeah, but yeah. Why do you ask that anyway? Why do you ask if anybody met me? So, but throughout history, gold has been a symbol of wealth, power, and divinity. But could this allure extend beyond human desires? Some theorists believe that the reptilians have a biological and technical need for gold, and that gold is the essential component in their advanced technology, powering their interstellar travel and energy systems. And so are they drawn to Earth for the gold and deposits and seeking to exploit this precious resource for their own gain? Because you got to remember, the Anunnaki had us specifically mining gold. And now they tie in, or David Icke does for sure, but they tie in the Anunnaki to humans. I mean, to reptilians. So could that be? He said the meet and greet. Well, this is going to be, if you're going to the Consciousness Awards, where we're going to meet. I'm in Dallas, Texas. We do have a lot of people here that we're going to start doing some meetup. Or you could, well, you seeing me now, but if you join our book club, you'll be able to, we do a Zoom. It's an intimate group where we just talk about some stuff and have a good stuff. But if you're going to the Conscious Award, then we're going to have a meet and greet there, and I'm going to have official book signing on my new release. And so we can do that. But you got to remember, the whole plan was gold. Gold was in all of the stuff, the chariots, so this theory of gold existed like crazy. You get what I'm saying? It existed like crazy. And so it is, it's just one of those deals when we go back to it. So we do ask ourselves why, like I said, and then are the secret operation of mining, is it more for these financial institutions merely a front for reptilian harvest? And so we remember the goal is supposed to be the Federal Reserve and all this stuff. And if it's ran by the Rothschilds, and then the Rothschilds are tied to reptilians and Rockefellers and all that stuff, and you already know the federal banking system or the Reserve Bank is a private institution. I hope y'all know that. It ain't owned by our government. It's a private institution. And there are shareholders in this thing. You can look it up. So, but they're supposedly house the gold. And those are one of the things, and pretty much, so they house the gold, and that was it. But so y'all good. So, what about genetic material? Could they be harvesting human DNA for hybrid experience to enhance their own species? Well, we know that happened in V. We know it particularly is happening out there, that they are doing it. So I would definitely go with that. So let me put our Cash App back on the screen at the top up here. If you find it any value, you can do it. Remember the book of sacred secrets is about to go. Okay. Let me flip that through it. If you ain't got it tonight and you don't have it within the next day, you miss a gem, and shame on you. Because let me just give you what you're seeing right here. This is it. I'm gonna flip through it real quick. It's just a break into what we're talking about. This is all the stuff, man, and you're gonna learn the much. Is it's a download, and you print this up. I bought this on Amazon, and I put this in here. It's too expensive to be trying to print an actual color thing, 8.5 by 11, and all that crap. Unless I'm getting a lot of them, and I'm not selling that many. But for those of you who have bought it and support the mission of the documentary, you're blessed. You get that hidden truth and everything else. You're set. A year from now, your life should be just totally different in abundance of information, truth seeking, everything else. You will become a teacher. You will be the person in all your conversation around your family and friends. None of them can match you when it comes down to this conspiracy of life. None of them going to understand the wavelengths of what's really happening, and you use that and learn. None of them going to understand incarnation and ascension and celestial and the 7 celestial energies. None of them going to do that. Astrology, cosmic astrology, as you know, we're going to call it that today since we have that in our chat. The synchronization and in the fractal universe, as below, so below, as above, so below. Nobody has that. And I'm telling you, if you don't have it and this goes away, you're going to beg me when everybody else is growing at a time when they start pulling out these stops, and you're going to be like, Roderick, bring that back. And I can't do it. I got to hold truth to what I'm saying. And so go to the website. There you go, and get you yours tonight. There it is right there. The link is there. She says she don't see Cash App. If you're trying to buy the book that I just put up, there's a link right there. Go to the book. If you're going to help out and donate Cash App, let me put it on the screen. I appreciate it. It's right there at the top and the bottom. And like I said, I'm looking for our big contributors, that really love what we're doing tonight. But whatever you can give is fine too. But it'll go off here in a minute, and I'll give you a shout out if you do. And if you're seeing one of those things. But y'all should be going to that website. And if you hadn't got it, I don't know why y'all think you don't need it. And I'm telling you, this world is not what you think. She said, I just wanted the Cash App. Oh, she wasn't going to say anything yet. Okay, that's cool. Okay, it's there. You got it. So it's humans are a diverse species with tapestry of genetic information. Let me take that off the screen right now. The Cash App stuff there. And could the reptilians be harvesting our DNA? We know that they are for nefarious purposes. Because when you start looking at some of the movies and they want to walk among us, but see, why would they want to change the DNA if they can just shapeshift? And it doesn't make sense. But David Icke talks about that all of these people have some type of sinister, not sinister, but their bloodline. All of these royal bloodlines, presidents and bankers, all of them have reptilian DNA. So, and they try, and reason why they breed with each other is because just like any DNA is watered down. And reason why they try, to stay intact is that they're trying to increase their reptilian DNA. So I don't get it, man. Why they just can't go underground and get a real one, a full blood reptilian, and say, okay, have sex with me. But they try to reproduce and create a royal bloodline. And it goes all the way back to the stories like the Da Vinci Code had. So that is something I can't answer. I don't know. And maybe some of y'all know, but we can look at it and say that's one of the things that we can do. So I just, you just wonder about that, right? So also, are they seeking to enhance their own species? And are numerous reports of alien abductions, unexplained medical procedures linked to the agenda, and is humans race is merely a genetic resource to be exploited by their overlords. Because if they're already here, we're not getting them abducting people and taking them off planet. They have to be having some type of structures and biocontainment stuff here on Earth that they're taking these humans. But for what I'm hearing is that They don't need to do that. They have cattle. They have human cattle. They're breeding them, and humans are making babies. So I'm sure if you're in captivity, you're still going to have whoop-de-doo, right? And would you? Would some of y'all be comfortable if you know you're a reptilian captive and they say you need to go over there and have sex and produce me a baby human so I can, chow down on this, or I'm gonna eat you? I bet some of y'all will be a baby making factory. You know what I'm saying? Some of me will be some breeders. That's what we'll be. If they tell me they're gonna threaten to eat me, or I need to impregnate, because a man can impregnate 100 women. A woman ain't gonna have that many babies. But a man can do this thing. So why wouldn't we do it? All right. Sherry Davis. Oh, so we do now have our highest contribution tonight. And like I said, I have this written down, and thank you. Carl just ordered his book too as well. So beautiful people. But our highest contribution on Cash App goes to Sharice Davis. So y'all give her a shout. Everybody give her a shout out in the chat. And like I said, I manifested this earlier, y'all. I put it on the vibrational codes. Y'all are hearing this thing go out because we have an audience and we're doing some stuff. But I'm saying this as a promise to all of you. I will be able to make a big announcements in the months to come, and it's not about you giving anymore. We have arrived, and so I'm at that last leg of saying okay, but also putting together this documentary and stuff. And so I'm going to make sure that we do this and reach out to some of you people. I'll put your names and stuff up on the credits when we do it. She said, it's Sharice. I'm sorry, RN Diva. I did say Sharice the second time. I corrected myself. Y'all give her a shout out. Give RN Diva a huge shout out. Okay. Y'all give her a shout out, and much love to you and to all of you who have supported tonight, but much love to you for doing what you did. Okay, so yeah, so y'all come on, give a shout out to Sharice, and let's do that. And y'all give a shout out, and let us let us do that. So I think it's cool. It's really cool to do. All right, so all right, well, y'all give us some more shout outs. Only two of y'all. Come on now. Y'all can do this thing. And again, we have a few other things there. So, y'all give a, what did I just say? For whom here? Yeah, y'all give a call. There we go. Thank you for getting your book of sacred secrets. And like I said, it's coming down. So thank you for that. Pretty much. So y'all give her some more shout outs there, especially my moderators and team. All of y'all people do that. Now we're going to get into genetic materials, and then we're going to talk about energy vampires. And I think that's a subject that some of you want to talk about, because I know a lot of y'all be talking about people sucking their energy. Now, I've been known to talk to people, and I still today be looking like, hey, man, I need more people to talk to offline on the phone about ETs and stuff, because some people just can't handle my conversation. They be drained and take days off because, man, we go deep. I go deep. You know what I'm saying? But it's a multitude of things, though. But we're talking energy vampires, so we will get to that next. But the genetic material says that, with the tapestry of our genetic, they are harvesting humans. And I said that, and they're conducting twisted experiments on hybrid creatures and combining their human traits. They are seeking to enhance their own species by splicing into the desirable humans. So they're choosing certain ones. And there are numerous reports of alien abductions, unexplained medical procedures, like the agenda is the human race merely a genetic resource, or they're exploiting our reptilian overlords, man. So when we think about that, like I said, why would they want to do that? Why would they want to? Now, when you think about the stories, like I said, now, Cueto Mutro and David Icke had a conversation. They talked about the folklore that we think about vampires came from the reptilians back in the day, were eating humans, so, or drinking blood. And so this myth came up of vampires, but really it was the reptilians, and it just evolved into that. So do reptilians feed off negative human emotions like fear and anger and manipulating global events to maintain that status supply? So are they causing wars, calamities, and all this stuff so that they can feed off this energy? And you know, we talk about people say, hey, you're giving off negative energy, or I don't like the vibes, or you hear that in our everyday conversation. But when you start thinking about these reptilian stuff, is that actually happening? You know, are they committing people? So if you're a negative person, is it possible that you are a perfect treat for a reptilian? You know, they're like, we're going to take you down. I mean, you know, you're a tasty morsel, so to speak. And so we could do that. And I think it's one of those things that you would have to think about. But you know, it's one of those deals. So what about that? What do y'all think when you hear humans or people talk about this person is negative, or, you know, we have negative energy, or all of these things? What do you think when it comes down to that situation? And does that make it viable for the reptilians? And, you know, does it make it viable? Does it make it viable for that? So in some esoteric circles is the word I'm trying to say, it's believed that the reptilians are not physical beings, but rather interdimensional entities that feed off negative human emotions. And could they be manipulating the global events to create this state of fear, this anger, this despair, or wars? Think about the wars we're having right now. Is they're created so the reptilians could feed off of that conflict? You know, how is the conflicts making this powerful energy source? You know, social unrest merely are tools to generate the emotional energy that sustains them. Now, are the reptilians, think about it, orchestrating a grand scheme to turn humanity into a form of negative energy, harvesting our emotions? So we saw the movie The Matrix. And so once again, David Icke, his book right here, he talks about the children of the Matrix. And in the back of his book, he says, we're born into a world controlled by unseen forces that have plagued and manipulated humanity for thousands of years. No, this is no script from a Hollywood movie. It's happening right now. You may look around and you may think you see is real, but in truth, we're living in an illusion designed to keep us in mental, emotional, and a spiritual prison. David exposes these truths, forces, and methods of human control. He reveals the fantastic web of global manipulation orchestrated by forces beyond the physical realm. He exposes this hidden bloodlines through which other dimensions and tidal lives operate unseen among us, and show us how the bloodlines of royal, political, and economic rulers today are the same as those who ruled as kings and queens of ancient times. He takes us on a journey, highly acclaimed. The truth shall set you free. The biggest secrets, all of this. So, like I said, you can probably get this. It's $20, $30, but you go to Amazon, you can get you a copy for 10 or 15 bucks. You know, it's worth it. And it's free shipping and all that. Is really worth it to do so. So think about Earth vibrational frequency. Now, let me get into that for you, because do I know the vibrational frequency is real? Yeah, I know it's real, because we're talking about the energy codes now when it does that. And so y'all give Maisha a shout out for getting her vibrational codes. And I'm getting ready to get into that right now. The Earth vibrational energy, you know, that it's all tied into the reptilians and how they see it, how they see this. And so is that a breakthrough in technology? Because everything is frequency. We all know that now. We all know that everything is frequency. You know, we know this, that it's all frequency. And Earth is a living organism, pulsating with a unique vibrational frequency Some believe that it's the frequency. This frequency is essential to the reptilian survival or power. And could they be manipulating the Earth energy grid using technology and realistic, ritualistic practices to alter its vibration on their own for their own purposes? And then are they suppressing our natural frequencies of the planet, keeping humanity in a state of lower consciousness and limiting our potential? Are they doing that? And that is the Earth energy a resource that the reptilians are using ruthlessly, exploiting, and potentially leading a catastrophic consequences for the planet and its inhabitants? So we can't deny that. We can't deny that there's frequencies. Everything is a frequency. Our vibrations, the government, they're talking about an energy, communications. I mean, we're talking over a frequency now. Radio, phones uses a frequency where it comes out of your phone, goes up somewhere, and then somebody can hear you on the other side driving around the road, and they're all listening through a frequency. You get what I'm saying? On some level, of course. And then if you change it, somebody else can hear it on different levels and different frequencies. Devices can hear and stuff can't. So what are we talking about, right? So we have to think about that, we look into that. What about the hierarchical, the heretical society, if I'm pronouncing that right. But anyway, reptilians naturally are a dominant species, and they're hand-wired to rule over others. And could the society be structured as a rigid hierarchy, which is an alpha leader and a chain of command that extends down to the lowest rank? And do they have humans as inferior beings destined to serve the reptilian overlords? And is this controlled by a logical imperative or instinctive drive that has shaped the evolution of the interaction? And so that is something for you to think about. Is there a overlord? Is there a grand ruler that's still in existence today, in which Quatar Mutor says that reptilian that's over everything is still here today? So they live for thousands and thousands of years. So I don't know why they want to interact with some human blood that's already designed by DNA to conquer out over 120 years or tops, but it's one of those deals. So we can talk about the illusion of freedom. Do they manipulate our society to create the illusion of democracy and freedom while they're maintaining the hidden hierarchy of control? So we talk about Bilderberg groups. We talk about all these different hidden societies that are typically running things, political systems, economic structures, and society. And we're not just talking about the United States. We're talking multinational corporations here. We're talking about multinational corporations that are hidden agendas of reptilian species, and that they're behind it, and they're able to control it all. So you're talking about elections that we participate in. Let's get into that right now. And the leaders that we elect and the freedoms that we cherish simply on a grand scheme. So we think we already know who's going to win. But for some reason, they already have it planned out on a higher authority of things. Maybe, the chess moves are totally different. So we have to think about that. Is our perception of choice, and is it merely illusion? Do we really have choice? Now, I will say this to you. What I have learned is, I was in one of David Icke's books, and we was talking, and it's about love. And he talked about the loveness of money loss and how it is designed by the elites, the cults, to know that there's something about you not having enough money creates a limited of choices and freedoms. And it makes sense, because when you don't have enough money, it does eliminate your choices in life and freedom. And I tell people all the time. So I've already told you, and I started there when we was talking about Operation Thrive, that it was all about now that the money is the new wealth for sure. And people like your health is the wealth. Yeah, that's the byproduct. But money is your new shield, because they're already predicting that in 2025, or, not 2025, 25 years ago, there will be, and I think Selena and I was talking about that, if I remember us having a conversation. If so, let me know and refresh my memory. But they were supposed to say there won't be no more middle class, that it's just going to be poor and wealth. And we're talking just 25 years from now, and so that's why I tell people, start building your empire to have a decision. And Billy talked about this Sunday down at the Anunnaki premiere, and he says that he is his own president, he's his own thing, and he was saying that I vote for me, and they have their own money, so they can evade all of this crap that we're in. They can evade that. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that they could do it. All right. So that is something that you think about. So the illusion of freedom, and everything else. And so they manipulate our society. And so what about divide and conquer? Do they instigate the conflict and division among humans to prevent us from uniting? We already know, when you talk about the Tower of Babel back in the day, and that they picked, because humans was getting smart, they figure we can break up communications. And if we break up where they can't communicate, then we can separate them. And that's one of the forms today, because you got people speaking this language, and we can't communicate. And it's the same form in a household and everything else. If they're not communicating, that's not happening. So it's one of those deals. So you want to know if the reptilian strategy to maintain control in a rooted age of tactical divide and conquer. Do they do that? Do they instigate this conflict that we was talking about earlier? Division among the humans, pitting us against one another, based upon race, religion, nationality, ideology, other worlds, and political turmoil of social unrest witness merely the result of their machines and designed to prevent us from uniting and challenging authority. Because I said all the time, we're talking truth, authority versus truth. That's a different story, by the way, when this happens. And oh man, okay. Oh yeah, she got everything. Y'all give, so we now have our largest contribution today in the orders today. And y'all give a shout out to that individual. She just, let me make sure I can pull up, let me backtrack here. And let me backtrack so that we go back into the order of things here. And let me find it. Yeah, so we have our largest order on. Well, no, actually it's tied. But y'all give Nicole. So Nicole, if you in here tonight, let's give you a shout out. Say something there so we can give you a shout out to do so. And I want to thank you for your orders. Thank you very much. Very, very much. There's a lot of blessings happening tonight. So I just want y'all to know y'all are doing really, really fabulous in blessing tonight. So she says she's here. Okay, there she is. Y'all give her a shout out right now, and give her a huge shout out. She ordered all of our books and everything. So y'all give her a shout out, period. A warm thank you. We're going to give her an energy shout out. Remember that Shazam stuff? Yeah, we would do that. We'll give it. So let's get into the New World Order. Is the reptilian agenda the driving force behind the push for the global totalitarian government? The concept of a New World Order, the global totalitarian government that will unite the world under a single authority. Have they been recruiting a theme in conspiracy theories for decades? Could the reptilian agenda be driving force to push the global control, and are they orchestrating events to erode national sovereignty and dismantle the traditions and institution of centralized power in the hands of select few? And are they using the global economic manipulations and the social engineering. So, Nicole, we're going to put you in a book club. You want to be in a good book club with us, right? So we're sending you out the email. Join the book club. We meet on Tuesday nights, I think at 7. Sometimes we stay a couple of hours, and sometimes we can get in and out. But it's a beautiful thing. We're on the Zoom, and it's real intimate with us, and we just talk. And sometimes we can go into and I'll share some information that I don't talk about on this air and all that good stuff. So you'll get the email from that. I'll get it to Monica. So we got 2 new book club members tonight. And if anybody else wants to join, if you buy it later on, you won't get the invite, because I took the thing that we would do it. But since I know anybody buying it tonight, I know you heard the show, and I'll make sure I put you on the list to do. So the New World Order, is using a globalization of economic manipulation, social engineering to create a world that is ripe for the takeover. And is the reptilian New World Order the ultimate goal? And we can say that about a lot of secret societies, but like I said before, they're all tying back into the bloodline of the reptilians. So the next we're going to go into spiritual warfare. Now, this is why the energy codes, this is why the hidden truth, this is why the book of sacred secrets, you got to know how to block that vibration. Because once again, we're talking about energy. We just talked about frequency. Everything in here is talking about frequencies and energies. You're learning about the frequencies of everything. All of us, this whole electromagnetism. Billy was talking about that deeply the other night, that this is the deal. All of this is ran by frequencies and energy. And if you don't know how to understand it and notice how to use it and how to put it into your powers, you just won't know. And you think you may know, but this has the stuff in it. Billy was just talking about this is the whole look at these companies, and everybody's using this energy. And it does go into the female stuff, male and female. We don't have to go that deep, but all of this stuff is connected at some point. So, like I said, you see it out there on the screen, it's going to be gone. And that's it. But you're going to be in this space for years to come. So the spiritual warfare, some believe that the reptilians are actively, so you can go to the website. Y'all can put in a chat, whybigSecret.com/merch. It's an instant download. You can get it, download it. I just printed it up myself and bought from Amazon, a 120-page presentation folder, because it's 100 some pages, or 60 colors back and forth. And I print them up, I put it in there, and I thumb through it and use it. But anyway, spiritual warfare, some believe that the reptilians are suppressing our spiritual potential, preventing us from evolving and realizing our true power. And if they're doing that, I'm exposing the all of that side, so you can get the power back and use it. See, I said that the other day when we was talking about some of this, the video last Friday, we got into the 7 universal principles that, the lower people are teaching this little manifestation, but they're using the higher power of this against us because they understand the power of the universal principle. They understand it. They know this stuff. And so they hide it so that you don't grow within it, because we all have the power. We all have the power, once we harness the knowledge, to block all of that. That's what David Icke talks about. He tries to tell you, get the knowledge so you can block those frequencies. You can block all the stuff that's happening and tune that stuff out, and so that they don't do it. So once again, you want to do it. So due to fear, innate connection to higher dimensions and potential threat we pose to their dominion. Are they intentionally limiting our access to the knowledge and wisdom? So I said that earlier. I said that I've had people tell stories that they tapped in, and then they went into a realm where the reptilians was there and told them to get out of here. So now you got to think about that. Now we're going to talk about the battle of our souls. See, I'm going through all this tonight. I'm coming at you tonight. So is Earth spiritual battleground with the reptilians seeking control of our souls to prevent us from ascending to higher dimensions? Once again, the ascension is in here, the techniques to ascend. See, I'm not making this stuff up. So why do we have to learn to ascend? Why do we have to learn the power of ascension if we now finding out that they are taking this from us? Right here, ascension in the physical plane, the ethereal plane, and the eternal plane, as below, the wisdom and wisdom lead into the goal, and all leads back into goal. And our thoughts are bondage, but I'm not the body, not the thoughts. You must fall in love and conquer desire and refrain from sexual activity, probably, right? And mass transmute your fears to begin. You know, these are the emerald tablets of thought. Billy wrote a whole bestseller about the emerald tablets. That's why he talks about that too. But you can get right to the point right here and learn this stuff. Yeah. But I'm saying the reptilians are using as a countermeasure these things against us. So it's Earth, the spiritual battleground, a cosmic arena where the reptilians seek to claim our souls and prevent us from ascending to a higher state of being. And are they waging a war on our consciousness and attempting to keep us trapped in a cycle of reincarnation and karmic death? So we keep coming back into this crap. We keep coming back. So they trying to figure that out. How do we do this, right? So they're waging a war on our consciousness and attempting to keep us trapped in the cycle. So we're going to keep coming back. But if you keep coming back and you haven't ascended, then you're going to come back karmically back into the cycle that they already put together. So you keep coming back as this slave type human, or this they're controlling. But if you get to ascend and go, when you come, you're above that. Think about it. And do they feed off our spiritual energy using the source of the thing to their own nefarious purposes? And are their spiritual practices tradition when we cherish merely the tools of control designed to keep us tethered to the material realm? And they blind us with the potential. They blind us with the potential. And then we want to talk about duality and deception. The concept of duality and division into reality is good and evil. We know that it's deeply ingrained in many religions and physiological systems. But this could duality be an illusion? Is it a trap set by the reptilians to keep us locked in perpetual cycle of conflict and suffering? Do they manipulate our belief and pit us against one another, or based on religious differences and ideology and division? And are they hidden architects of wars and, like we said before, hatred that plagues our planet in its ultimate goal to keep us trapped in a state of spiritual ignorance and disharmony? This is where we start getting this woke stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is where we start getting, are you woke and all that stuff? And then they tap into what we'll talk about next is our free will, our ability to choose our own path, and the key to resisting the influence. This is why when they keep us broke financially, they can control our choices and our freedoms, because there are just certain things we can't do that if it's an option, if we don't have it. So in the face of this alleged spiritual manipulation, does our free will hold the key to resisting their influence? And can we choose to break free from the control by expanding our consciousness and seeking the truth and embracing our spiritual potential in other practice like meditation, mindfulness, self-awareness, the weapons we need to fight back against their insidious agenda? I think so. And is the act of choosing love over fear, unity over division, and empowerment over victimhood is the act of defiance against them. See, because Ike does a whole book on love. He talks about it. I'm reading a chapter right now. And it's not about just us being in love. It's loving everyone. It's loving everything. And it will teach you to be a better person. I'm going through that. And as I'm studying symbolism and all of these things, because that's where I want to go to. I want to do more symbolism tied into secret society conspiracies, back to the alien agenda and all of this stuff. And this is where we're evolving to. And in our first documentary is going to be a good one. So once again, thank any of you, any other contributions want to, my big spenders. Man, I'm proud of y'all. I'm really proud of you because you just, you're really a blessing tonight. But if you want to Cash App, you can do it seamlessly up there. And we're talking, if possible, $1,500 stuff, man. We're getting closer, to a couple of grand of now putting our deposit down on our videographer who needs that deposit. So I'll thank some of you, and then some of you may want to say, "Hey, I'm gonna call you to get in on the royalty side of it," and like I said, it's going to be done a legal thing. It's just a, piece of the documentary, and I've already got our first buyer, who said, "Hey, you make it, I'll buy it." He's like, "I love the idea, but I'm hoping, what if we put it, on our other streaming platforms, and in 5 or 6 years, we just keep licensing out. We got residual money coming because content is king, right? They're doing it. So, High Stranger's production and media company will be started on January 1st. Like I say, the trademarks, you can look it up. High Stranger's trademark. We'll get our certificate in a couple of months. High Stranger's clothing line is now approved. The tagline that is my personal catchphrase now, and then all our stuff will be, well, today we're going to talk about Aryan Diva and how spooky and blah blah blah. I'm just making this up. And what you're about to see, you may not believe it. So you may not believe it is my official catchphrase, own coin phrase, trademark. Nobody can't use it, say it in our genre, but Roderick Martin. And we're going to use that to be our catch and hook into a lot of other different documentaries and films and everything else. And everything is, we're going to tell people what you're about to see. You may not believe it. And I think there's a great transition. So let's talk about survival of, is this a dying planet? And I said that earlier, a couple of hours ago into the conversation when we talked about, Nibiru and all of that. But could Nibiru be alleged reptilian homeworld proposed? Once again, Zachariah Sitchin mentioned that. Remember, and he says we're faced in a catastrophic event, forcing them to seek refuge here. So supposedly they are doing those things. It is really, they are doing this, but what happens if they suppose their planet is dying and now they're coming here to take over Earth? What if that's truly happening? And if their planet is dying, is the resources depleted and the environment is becoming inhabitable, or they're desperate to find a new home? Now, you would think they would just travel here, but they could have a hierarchy system just like we have. There's poor ones and the rich ones, and the rich ones can't, they're here, and then the poor ones don't have spacecraft. But when the whole planet get here, they all just jump over here some kind of way. And could their arrival to Earth be a desperate attempt to escape extinction and ensure the survival of the species? Now, we know that they like being on the ground. They like the temperature. So is that a conspiracy behind our global warming? There was a movie, I forget what it was called, where they were in Mexico and they was increasing our temperature on the planet like little tidbits of degrees, but to get it up to the degrees they need, it was going to take hundreds of years, but they kept releasing this greenhouse. And the only reason they got busted because they were shape-shifting, and somehow they ran out of copies of whatever the body skin that they want to use. And so all of them was using the same one. And when this guy made it to the base, all these people was walking around looking at like, he was like, what? And that's when he realized that the person they were looking like wasn't a real person. Oh, it's a real good thing. I forget the name of it. But genetic adaptation, could they be interbreeding with humans to adapt their species? And so that answers what I was talking about earlier when I said, why would they do that? Well, Earth has its own environment. Earth has its own Mother Nature. So in order for their species to walk on the top of the Earth, they may need to interbreed with humans to get our DNA structure so that they can. So if they originate from a different planet, with a vastly different environment, could they be struggling to adapt to our conditions? And are they interbreeding with humans to create the hybrid offsprings that are better suited to life on a planet? Are they manipulating our genetic code, incorporating the desirable human traits into their own DNA to enhance their adaptability or resistance? That is something that we would have to really think about. So let's put it that way, and we can do that. All right, so we got the fourth. We got a long way to go. I just want to know, can y'all hang? Segment 4 is about to start, and it's really good. We're going to talk about the movies and stuff, but so the question would be, why reptilians? We still in the segment 3. Advanced race be interested in relative primitive planet like Earth, and maybe it's because our unique resources and qualities. Does Earth possesses what they can't not find on other planets or dimensions, and are we merely a source of genetic gold mine for them in the outposts of a galactic empire? And could our planet vibration, energy, diverse ecosystem, and strategic location in the universe be vital? The other question is, why would the reptilians go great lengths to conceal their existence if that's the case? Well, do they fear exposure or retaliation? Because obviously we outnumber them. The loss of power and control. Are they vulnerable to our collective consciousness and spiritual awakening? What if we can come together for that? Could the deceptive tactics be a sign of weakness in a desperate attempt to maintain their grip on reality that is slipping away? Maybe they could. So the other person was, why do conspiracy theories cover up the ideal of the agenda? And is this a coincidence? Is it merely a coincidence that the product of mass hysteria paranormal, or is it paranormal? Is this a desperate narrative of all pointing to the single truth and a hidden reality that is slowly being unveiled? And are the reptilians the common thread that connects these seemingly unrelated conspiracies? And the puppet master is pulling the string. So, does it have any relevance to this? Does any relevance to the everyday lives? So we just want to think about that. Could it be an understanding? So I just want y'all to think about that, okay? And so we're now moving into the last segment, and I think we did good tonight. If y'all enjoying the show, let me know. If you're enjoying the show, just let me know if you are. And so that would be pretty cool. I'm going to take let me put up some, I think we can get a little music here. And I'm going to take a real quick restroom break. It ain't going to take but a few seconds here. And let me put up a picture here. Y'all can do that. Yeah. All right. So there's the picture of the ebooks, the 400 ebooks. You can go to the merch and get into this and get into the book club with us if you want. You can do that. In the meantime, all right, now I made it back. Let's see. Like I said, we're in the last segment, and we're going to talk about movies and stuff. So I hope you all hang around for that if you can. Those of you, this is our last segment. We'll talk about a lot of movies, what's happening, give you some pointers. So we got people going to bed. Me and the Moon said she's a reptilian anyway. So maybe, us talking about reptilians ran her off here. So she's going ahead into bed. Good night. She said, are you going to be okay? No, I'm not going to be okay. No, you're supposed to have my back, my neck and my back. You know what I'm saying? And I only have another 30 minutes of conversation now. You know what I'm saying? I only have another 30 minutes, maybe a little more, and I'll rush through it. All right, that's fine. There's some stump people. There are people that'll chip in and have my back. She said, laughing, I already know everything because I'm a reptilian. I'm talking about, that's why, when you get people that know everything, and she's serious too, man. She might got scaly skin and shit. We'll never know. We're going to find out though. So the reptilian reflection, from ancient myths to modern conspiracies. And reptilians have slithered away into our collective consciousness, but their influence doesn't, supposedly, their influence doesn't stop there. So tonight, in this part, we're going to explore the architect that's infiltrated our pop culture, living his mark on our movies, television, literature. So it's right in plain sight. We're going to go over this stuff in plain sight, right? And she said, "Can I pet your tail, Selena, without being bitten?" Oh, man, y'all do it. Pet that tail, baby. Well, if she got a tail, meaning she doesn't have an ASS, right? Can't have a tail and an ASS at the same time because you wouldn't see the ASS, but the tail. I don't know. That y'all can discuss this. So make sure you find out that there's an ASS with a tail, because if there's no ASS, there's, you're not. Yeah. So pet the tail, pull the tail on it if you want to. Maybe a tail of a donkey, and then you pull and think you was a reptilian, or it was a reptilian. Thank you, Beginning Journey. She said, "Hey, Roderick," she's here with me. Cool. So we're going to get into the first movie. Let's talk about the silver. Remember the V back in 1983? It was a miniseries. Did the alien invasion story feature reptilian antagonists disguised as human plant seeds to reptilian conspiracy in our public thing? So let me give you an overview of the movie. So V was an advanced race known as visitors, and they arrived to Earth. So if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out, promising us peace and technological advancement. And so it's like they threaded this needle at us, right? And put it out there, and it's like, okay, he talking about the A55 is under the tail. Yeah. Under that tail is a pile of sugar, honey, iced tea, right? Because that's where it is hidden, is under the tail. I don't know. I'm getting out of there. I'm just kidding. But the whole point is, however, their benevolent facade, soon crumbled, revealing they had a sinister truth. They were reptilian beings disguised as humans, intent on stealing Earth resources, because they came and they looked like humans, right? We thought it was another human race, but it was a victory or visitor. Okay, it was victory. But so they were disguised as and all of a sudden there became a resistant movement rising to fight back against the alien invasion. But there was a hidden message in V. So let me kind of go in it. It was a work of fiction, we know that, but many viewers interpreted it as a real world concern back in the day. They really was. And they were talking about how they saw the parallels between the visitors or victory. But see, it was called victory for us, but it was visitors for them. So it had both names. But they call it V because it was our victory, but V was them for being visitors. Now, no, I remember now. So that's what it was. It was visitors. But anyway, but historically, events like Nazi Germany were emphasized or propaganda, and dehumanization was deemed a little different. So others saw the series as a cautionary tale about the dangers of blindly trusting authoritative figures and importance of critical thinking. So the reptilian influence on public consciousness, V undoubtedly introduced the concept of the reptilian antagonist in disguise as humans as to a mass audience. And this show popularity, it was popular back in that I was young. It sparked discussions about possible extraterrestrial life, the government conspiracies, the potential of a hidden agenda, lurking between the benevolent things. And while it was difficult to quantify the direct impact of the development of this conspiracy, so that was a huge thing. Now there was a key scene that it was iconic in this particular TV series. One of it was in V was a moment when the visitor's true reptilian form was revealed. Now this was a shocking revelation, and actually cemented the image of reptilian as a sinister, deceptive beings in the minds of many viewers. So we built right there when that scene popped up, when they showed that there was actually reptilians. Everybody's like, "Oh, we hate them," because remember they came to Earth And it was also raised question about the nature of the identity, the power of their appearances, and the potential for hidden agendas lurking beneath the surface. And the scene, along with the show's overall themes, may have inadvertently fueled the conspiracy we're thinking. So, but when they do Hollywood movies, do they make this stuff up? It's like they get insider information. They're not making this stuff up. So did V merely capitalize on existing fears and anxieties about the unknown? Or did it contribute to the creation of reptilian conspiracy theory? Could the show popularity? So there's things that you want to do. There was another show. I'm going to get to the next one here. I only have a few left, but it was called They Lived, and that was in 1988. Remember, that was like a cult classic with the hidden reptilian overlords controlling society through subliminal message. And then they offer a glimpse into our own reality. So we have that now. So They Live was unnamed after drifters. Remember, discovered a pair of sunglasses that reveal the hidden truth about the world. And through these lenses, he sees the society is controlled by a skull-faced alien disguised as humans, using subliminal messages to manipulate control. And these aliens, who bear striking resemblance to reptilians, reveal the true power behind corporations, government, and media exploiting these. She said, if you never saw the original, y'all need to check that. V was originally a miniseries. Yeah, you can probably still find like a collection of the tapes and stuff on eBay, like the DVDs or something. But there was hidden messages in Then They Live. There was a bit of satire when it came down to the conformity, the concentration of wealth and power. The film's subliminal message hidden in plain sight encourage obedience, complacency, mindless consumption, the reflection of broader concern about manipulation of mass media and potential of agenda. So they had this stuff, man. And so the reptilian influence on public consciousness, while They Live didn't mention reptilians, but the skull-faced aliens share the characteristics of reptilian architects. So their ability to disguise themselves as humans, the greed of power, resource, and manipulation of society through subliminal messages, and resonate with the reptilians. And there was a key moment in there. So I'm giving you these key moments. There was a scene where the protagonist first puts on the sunglasses. He sees the world as truly is a powerful moment of revelation. The stark black and white visuals coupled with the chilling realization that reality is not what it seems. David Icke talks about that, right? And he created a sense of unease and paranoia that lingers long after the film ends. So if you haven't seen that one, They Live, you need to check that out. I'm telling you, you need to check that out. It's not a TV show, in case that it's not clear. No, it's a show. I didn't say it was a miniseries. So, but is it a science fiction, or the real world examples hidden in there? So again, by examining They Live through the lens of a reptilian conspiracy theory, you can uncover deeper layers. So you need to check that out. We had Men in Black in 1997. That was the original portrayal of extraterrestrial life. You remember that was a blockbuster at the time. It was a franchise present a world with extraterrestrial life, not only, but also integrated into society. Remember that, right? The original. And there was a secret organization, Men in Black, that polices the alien activity. While the films was more of a comedy, they also contained subtle hints of illusions that could be interpreted as nods of reptilian conspiracy. It had a lot of hidden subtext in that. Throughout the franchise, several alien species were depicted with reptilian features. They had a lot of that, such as the Archilians. And then I think in the first film, there was the Surlina. In the second, it was Surlina, yeah. And then there was the characters that was identified as reptilians. I forget what it was, but they did a lot of that in that movie. That franchise was huge, and it really contributed to a lot of stuff. And I think the key moment was the worm guys. If you remember, there was a scene when the film featured two worm-like aliens who casually discussed their plans for global domination while they disguised as humans. And the scene could be interpreted as a nod for the conspiracy, right? And then have reptilians, but there was worm guys, but suggesting power beings, hidden agendas could operate in the mist in plain sight. So that's something that we could look into. But there was some symbolic stuff in there. There was cold-blooded predators in there. There was reptilians. There was snakes, and there was a lot of alien stuff in that particular film. It had ancient fears of symbolism. It had, this thing was huge when it came out. There was another influence on TV called Doctor Who. Who remembers Doctor Who? Which was a race of intelligent reptiles featuring in a long running. It was more of a British sci-fi, but it was all about the thing, and so that's one of the things that I think we can look at. But also, we have it had ancient origins. Everything go back to ancient stuff, right? Hidden existence. When you go down to the Doctor Who, and it all has all of that stuff. So. And they had a conflict with humans, just like everything. Both groups were depicted as potential adversaries to humanity, vying for control. The differences from the reptilian conspiracy theories was the Serling's motivation in Doctor Who was primarily based on survival and reclaiming their rightful place on Earth, and not necessarily global domination. They had a lot of morality stuff. And these are in movies. The physical appearance, reptilian appearance was in there, to dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures. This stuff was there, man. There was a seed and an ideal there. It had a potential influence on the conspiracies. It had a lot of points, but one of the things was it a simple project of science fiction? Or could they be inspired by real world myth and abilities? And did the Sumerians conspiracy from there? And that's something to think about. Then we got the X-Files. Everybody's seen the X-Files. This was a popular show with exploration of government and conspiracies and paranormal. It was the epitome of shows. It was groundbreaking. It was the series of explored wild events and paranormal government conspiracies. It featured several episode of reptilian-like creatures. They did that a lot, along with themes, and resonated everything. See, a lot of these stuff has reptilian depictions, and they had reptilian-like creatures throughout its 9 seasons. X-Files had a lot. They featured several creatures, characteristics such as alien bounty hunting. Remember, in the colony in the end, shape-shifting was what Eugene Victor Toombs in the Squeeze and Toombs. There was one. They had a lot of stuff in this thing. Which is really cool. One of the key moments was the alien bounty hunter with his chilling reptilian experience, ruthless pursuit of his targets, and becoming a villain. Remember, in X-Files. So that was happening. So did they do it? Could the show was a message? Because it's something that we can look into. And then we can get into ancient aliens. I don't even have to go that far into that, but they've been around a long time. You're talking Ancient Aliens History Channel is dedicated to multiple episodes exploding reptilian conspiracy, exploring it, and then often presenting a legitimate possibility. These people, they do it. And by featuring interviews, remember, and by the way, I was featured on Ancient Aliens, so I've been on that TV show. So go back, look up the episode. It was short, but I was there. You know what I'm saying? They told me, they talked about my experience, my childhood experience and stuff. So I was featured there. And it's been around, like 20 seasons, and they ain't never gave no answer. They steady looking for the shit. And that's the perfect plan, to create a show that never answers the questions, but they constantly are looking for it. So that is some cool stuff. My favorite guy was Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. I don't know if y'all ever seen that stuff. This was done. He had some show. He had reptilian stuff. They took a lot of his stuff down. You can go, I went on the internet and found some duplicate copies of Conspiracy Theory, all of his episodes, but you can't find that stuff for sale nowhere, because he had a lot of stuff from the Reptilians to that dude had some good stuff, man. He really did. And he hit it hard and ticked some people off. So he had that True TV series hosted by, him. And They had including reptilian stuff. You know, he did a he approached it a little different and he went at it, but they had an investigative format, which is something I like to do, which involved interviewing experts, witnesses, and all that kind of stuff. And then that was very powerful when it comes down to that, you know. And so, you know, they did a good job when it comes down to that. And then when you want to talk about subliminal messages, there was a lot of subliminal messages in there. There was reptilian symbolism in advertising. Some of the researchers claimed the imagery such as snake, lizards, and eyes with vertical pupils. All of this stuff is embedded into the logos and all of this stuff, man. And I can go on a lot. But one of the biggest books was David Icke's, and I just ordered this one off eBay. It was The Biggest Secret, and how the influential book popularized the reptilian conspiracy shaped by public discourse. Now, this came out in 1889, and is considered the magnum opus of his reptilian conspiracy. It's the book. It is this book that he explains his earlier claims of introducing a concept of the Babylonian Brotherhood, a secret society of shapeshifters who control the world through elite bloodlines and manipulative global events. The main themes, the reptilian blood. This was some powerful stuff. And so I think that's a great book. And then you need to look at it from there. I'm going to shut the rest of this down because I still had a few pages though. But so I don't know if me and the moon, did you stay? Did you survive? Or maybe she's half sleeping and she can hear me, you know, and she can say, "I'm sleepy, I'm sleepy," from there. But I want to, you know, as we come to a close, get you some information, man, and get out here and learn and do some stuff. She went to bed. Oh, okay. Why ask me, was I all right? Or you got my back, and then go to bed. No problem. You know, it's one of those things, and everything else, you know, and you have to look at what we're doing, right? Look how life is doing this, you know, what we're doing right now. So, you know, when you think about the reptilians, like I said, this is a good book. I have not read this one. I just bought it. It's a used book, but it goes back. And so I'm learning the speed reading and photo reading, and so I can start reading stuff a lot faster. So that is it. But this David Icke, I've been skimming through that one, really getting some stuff. All right. So, you know, like I said, we were close to reaching halfway of our goal of doing something with all you people helping and everything else. And so I just want to know if anyone else want to contribute, if you want to buy anything, if I put the reptilian shirts up, would you buy it? I'm gonna put it up tomorrow, and then I'll take it back down on Monday night or something. These will take a little while to order because it's, you know, I have to order once I get the number of people, that's why I'm doing it close in and close out. Then I'll place an order for the shirt. So it'll be up on the website tomorrow. I may do it tonight while I'm working, and then you can go in there and buy it and put the sizes up and everything else, and it'll just be simply done. It's as simple as it can be from there. So if you plan to contribute to what we're doing, let me put the Cash App at the top. So we need some help. We're almost there. And so I'm not asking just because of it is what we're planning to do. And like I said, I would thank everybody who gives a donation to the Cash App. But, you know, the goal, we had 10 people will reach the goal, or 20 will reach it, you know, with a collective consciousness of the group. Maybe you don't have to give as much again anymore because we're going to get somewhere. But I do want to lock down our videographers that will do something. Ricky said, text me tomorrow. I don't know if you see the comments on your store. I don't see comments on the store, but I'll text you tomorrow from there. But yeah, I wouldn't see them on the store. website thing, and I didn't even know it had comments. So if you wrote them there, I wouldn't even see them. But yeah, I'll give you a holler. Did the Diddy shirt? May I get one? I'm gonna put, like I say, in about an hour, I will put the shirts for sale on the website. Like I said, they're not the same price as the other ones, but but it's an oversized acid wash, good quality shirt. I mean, it's going to be kick ass, and it will be a limited thing. So I will put it up, and then all I would ask is when you get it, take a picture so I can put it on the community page. We'll drop it again in a few months later. But I was just kind of showing. I thought since I'm talking about reptilians, it'd be a good caveat. I wish the website was there. Maybe some of y'all would have ordered it tonight had I put it up, but I just wasn't totally prepared. Once again, if you did not get your book of sacred secrets, it will not be up within a day or so. And I'm sorry that you didn't get it, but I really hoping that a lot of you got it and you wouldn't have been disappointed, and you will learn and grow, and your life will change completely. And that don't mean we're still not going to teach long term. We're still not going to be here to offer information, to put things out there, but we're going to be doing that. There's the Cash App at the bottom. So just 3 of you. What if we get 3 more people? What if we get 3 more people tune into the Cash App, and maybe you'll be that person, or somebody else go in there and buy some stuff right now. All of that helps. It's reciprocity. You go buy some things, another shirt style or something. It all helps. But I would like to shout out at least 3 more people while we're here, if that's possible. Who would that be? Hope I appeal to you. Who would that be that will allow me to shout you out right now? Yeah, let's find out. And then we will take it home, ladies and gentlemen. We will take it home. So while we're doing that, while I'm waiting, if you are that person, let me wait for you. But in the meantime, I do have a few grapes right here that I have. But while we're waiting, let's wait for you. Conscious Awards, if you got your tickets, make sure you go. We're going to do a meet and greet that Friday. And we're going to do a meet and greet that Friday at the Conscious Awards. Sit around, order some pizza. I'm going to splurge that weekend. I'll get off the little eating plan. We'll sit there. Me and the Moon, she'll be there. And then we'll have a couple other people that's in here. Daryl Nichols is going to be there. And we're going to be there. So the greatness of Alton, I met him this weekend down at the Forbidden Knowledge premiere. So, give him a shout out. Alton Thomas right there. So like I said, as we get ready to come to a close, and tonight we've been here 3.5 hours, which is really good for our Freaky Friday. And then we would do it. Our R&D was says, anybody's going to be. So are y'all going to be there Friday and Saturday, Saturday and Sunday only? If you're there Saturday and Sunday only, if you come to the conference, make sure we meet, please. I only see y'all usernames, so come up to me, tell me who you are. Let's take a picture. Let's kick it, folks. You know what I'm saying? Let's have a great time. Please, hope that you get the book. I don't know how many copies of the book. So she says, okay, so Friday night, we're going to be, we're at the Marriott Biscayne Bay. So we'll be there. So make sure Friday night that you come over to and make sure everybody here next week so we can give out our text list. And we can give out our text list and stuff. And so that you will come. And then we'll do a group text. And so I'll figure out how we can all do that and put that together. So next Friday night or next week, we'll do several lives promoting the text list and everybody getting together so we can hook up, and find one another. And it'll be a beautiful thing. I can't wait for y'all to do that. I can't wait for y'all to understand and have some fun. All right, so unfortunately, I'm sitting here But for those of you who have already contributed to the show tonight, for good measures, like I said, we're working on a documentary. I secured everything, the other side of it with Billy over the weekend. When I was there, we went to dinner and he said he loved to pitch the idea and he's like, let's do it. I mean, do it. And he wanted it for his network. So if you want to get in on that, you can. And like I say, for those others, we will, just put things together. But if you email me on the back end and maybe you want to be a, investor of the project, and then as we put it out there and we get residuals, we can do that. Or if we sell it outright, then we'll fund it back. We'll do some stuff. But we'll be working on that from a legal capacity. Just let me know you're interested. The email is contact@whythebigsecret.com. That's the contact. And Philly Cat will put it in the chat, hopefully, if she's still here. Yes, she's here. And y'all can do that, and we're pretty much doing that. And like I say, I will put the reptilian shirts up tonight. When I get off of here, I will take the time to go put them up on the website. So give it about an hour, and I would love for 10 of you. Now we get more than that in the next day. That'll be a beautiful synergy. But it is a limited edition. We had them custom made. We own the copyrights to it. No one else have a shirt like this out there nowhere. And if they did, they knocking off. Well, maybe, but we have our original artist now. So we're going to be making some great stuff. And pretty soon I'll stick these two styles up. They're really cool shirts too. And, they have our brand, our trademark brand behind it and everything else. So, there is the email there. There you go right there. It's contact@whythebigsecret.com. So make sure you send me an email and pretty much there. And let me know who's going to get one of those shirts and when I put it up. So let me shout you out now and let you support. So if y'all enjoyed the show tonight, we've been here 3 hours and I kept it on point tonight. And if you enjoyed it, give me a shout out right now before we go. Give me some kudos or it's Freaky Friday, but did we have a good show? A lot of you stayed here tonight, so that was good. He said, I refuse to have any of those faces sitting on my heart. Well, okay. Well, then you can get you another one. That's fine. But the whole point, I have another one that I'm going to bring out. You'll like it. It's one of those deals. But anyway, it's all just a shirt and a tire, but everybody's preferences is fine. But so if we did good tonight, they both look the same. Now they're done. They're different people and stuff. But there's just one has a woman and one has a man. And that's all. Yeah, they're pretty much. All right. So it's been a plum pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege tonight. Like I say, I am so proud of having a lot of you in our corner. I am really proud to have you, me able to serve you over the years and doing what we're doing. We're getting ready to go up. We're going to come up like George and Wheezy, right? Content wise, production wise, we're going to make a serious push to be different and special. And it is because of you and your contributions that allows us to do that. And, well, that's the email right there. He was just talking about the email. But, yeah, I know. I thought about that too when she said she mistyped it. I said, they both look the same to me. So I didn't think none of it. In fact, they both look the same. You were correct. So you have to, do the things that you're supposed to do, and pretty much. So I love you, and as always, to my haters, if you're here hating on me, I want you to know I can love you without ever meeting you. I don't want to meet you, but I love you. But if you're one of my haters and you hear constantly hating on me, I just want you to know you're really a fan. You're just critical, and there's nothing wrong with criticism. I accept it pretty well. And pretty much. And so I do allow it to sharpen my knives and sometimes I don't care about what anybody say about me as long as it ain't the truth, at this point. But, to my haters, that's fine. do that. So with that being said, I'm going to shut us down. And I love all of you. I really do. I love y'all. I got the best job or blessing in the world, and to watch us grow from where we were, 1,000 subscribers. Now we're pushing 20,000. We're going to have 100,000. We're going to do some amazing stuff. And like I said, this is it. You're going to miss vibrational codes. You're going to miss the hidden truths. Now, this is more about secret societies, religion, and all of that. So you're going to miss all of that. The hidden truths, that's going to come down. The Holy Grail is the Book of Sacred Secrets, energy code, put it on the waters, put it on under your pillows, under your beds. I use it tonight. Put it under my bed, love and abundance. I'm pushing for love and abundance now. And I'm doing that. So we will do that. All right, let's go home.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shots that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Let us consider the question.